Good evening everybody, welcome back to another stream of Steins Gate. This feels like forever since I've been doing this game, and it feels like forever since I've been on stream, doesn't it, considering I was on for a massive 24 hours, Saturday into Sunday, raising £220 for Crisis UK. So all you people out there who donated, thank you very much. To all you people who watched, thank you even much more. This is a much more straightforward stream. It's going to feel a bit strange coming back to this, but that's just the way it is. And last time we picked this up, of course, we'd seen that moment where Okabe Rinsero had realised that changing time back might mean going back to a prologue he's forgotten. On the stream already, Avian J jumping in saying actually gets to take a lunch break for the first time in 2 weeks. Oh, jeez, that sounds horrible. Well, welcome to the stream anyway. Great to see you as well over the weekend. And yes, I've rekindled the love affair with coffee. I'm not letting the punishment pot get between me and a decent brew, it must be said. For those of you out there, of course, who are watching live like Avian, you can jump into the chat box anytime, leave your messages, and I'll do what I can to get through them. I thought I had found the solution, that everything would be alright. But the equation was meaningless. I had solved nothing. Instead, I am left with a terrible choice. Mayuri or Kurisu. One of them must die. Radican is still off limits. They haven't yet repaired the hole that Scissorhar's time machine made, and I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, you can see here, it's taken out the complete side of the roof and the extension and the interior wall. I'm surprised they're not going to have the entire floor down to rebuild it. It's forever to get that sorted out. And nice one, Evian. You say that you've rekindled your love affair too, that coffee is your everything. Well, as I say, nothing's going to stop us, not even the cough up. For those of you who don't know what it is, I'm afraid you won't be able to find out, because YouTube doesn't seem to record live streams that are longer than 12 hours. So while on my page you can click the link to the video, and it'll tell you how long it was, it won't let you view it. The video is not there. I'm beyond pissed off. I look down through the hole at the streets of Okabe. From up here, they look narrow and stifling. Across the way, a train rumbles by. I watch the yellow striped cars move past, and that is canon. The yellow striped line goes through to Shinjuku, across the centre of the ring line in Tokyo, from Akihabara Station. I came here because I wanted to be alone. The day before yesterday, I abruptly cancelled the attempt to hack CERN. Why? Kurisu Daru demanded an explanation, but I just couldn't give them one. The decision has paralysed me. And that's right, Avian, yes, it seems that it's too long for YouTube, so what I am going to say now is, if I do revisit doing a similar stream of that nature again in the future, there'll be a slight change to the format, where it's literally going to be in 3 parts, and the moment I sign off for the second costume change, I'll stop the stream, and then restart it as part 2 and come back on in my new costume, and the same for part 3. So that'll be 3 separate streams of 24 hours. The purists will go, it's not been done for 24 hours, so it doesn't count. But all the people who care will know that I have been on for 24 hours. Meantime, I was jumping on saying, hi everyone, hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. You were here for my weekend. I was working 24 hours straight, and it was a lot of fun. 2 days later, I am still nowhere near close to finding an answer. What do I do? 2 weeks ago, on July 28th, Dr. Nakabachi held a press conference in this very spot. Well, this very building. The spot is the floor below. The roof wasn't where it took place. The same day, Kurisu was murdered. Let's say we go through with the plan and delete the first email I sent, the one about Kurisu's death, from CERN's database. That will return us to the beta wordline, where it all began. What would happen then? According to my predictions, our friend, lab member 004, Makase Kurisu, would disappear. Someone who died on July 28th cannot be alive now, on August 15th. That would defy causality. A time paradox. That wordline has already rejected her existence. The moment we erase the D-mail, Kurisu will cease to exist. And so, I am left with two options. Option 1. Hack CERN with the IBN 5100 and erase the first D-mail I sent, thus returning to the beta wordline. Kurisu will disappear, but Mayuri will live. CERN will never build a time machine, and the future will be 3. Option 2. Don't hack CERN. Keep living here on the Alpha wordline. Mayuri will die, so will Moeka and FB. Kurisu will likely be kidnapped by CERN, but at the very least, she won't die. With her research, CERN will gain control of space-time, and the future will be a dystopia where no one is free. And I'm supposed to choose? Ridiculous! I choke out a laugh. How am I, of all people, supposed to make that choice? There's no way! I don't really care about the future, whether it's free or ruled by CERN. I know I should care. Suzuha entrusted her wish to me. Doesn't that make it my responsibility? But still, it doesn't seem quite real. 20 years is a long time. Right now, only Mayuri and Kurisu matter. I must choose which to save. If I'd been given this choice back on July 28th, before this all started, I probably would not have hesitated to abandon Kurisu and save Mayuri. But it's not July 28th. It's August 15th. I spent 2 long weeks with Kurisu. She's one of us now, an integral part of the lab. And as I let through time again and again, she was the person I relied on most. Yep, Alistair Jack, as Avian has just said, what's been going on with Steins Gate is we've been undoing all the D-mails, which has now hinted that the prologue will have to be reinstated. And as such, Rintaro has a choice. Carry on this word line and let Mayuri perish, or reset to the previous and let Kurisu perish. I mean, how do you choose between that? I mean, if you were in that situation, you've literally got a choice. There's 2 people. They're both in different traps. You can only save one. What choice do you make? There's a psychology dilemma. I'm interested in what people's comments would be. And how you'd weigh it up. Always calm. Always thoughtful. Always ready with a new hypothesis. Always there to give me a push when I needed it the most. I wouldn't even have the time limit machine if not for Kurisu. It's thanks to her that I made it this far. After all she's done for me, there's no way I can abandon her now. But nor can I let Mayuri die. Everything I've done, I did to save her. I would give everything, even my own life, to see her safe. More than anything, I want her to live. Now, as you say, what would I do between these 2 options, Alistair Jack? You throw the question right back at me. Well, normally, I'd be the guy who goes to the 3rd option and says, I'd save neither. The universe won't have that prediction planned for. Unfortunately, if Okabe chooses to do nothing in this timeline, then Mayuri's going to die, because that's what fate's determined by. And Avian, as you say, if you knew both of them, you'd be paralysed. Absolutely. How can you make that choice? I mean, this isn't like the hypothetical trolley car scenario that you always see about in psychology tests. This is literally, it's a case of heads or tails, but the coin can't land on its edge. It lands on heads or tails. That's it. Which way do you go? What path do you choose? How can you justify it as well? Like, you know, you could come up with all the reasons in the world, but How would that haunt you? It'd haunt you for the rest of your life. You would never get away from it. You'd never be able to recover. There would literally be no way back. No matter what, I won't let her die. I can't choose. I can't! Kill Kurisu or kill Mayuri. This is what this choice comes down to. Is this how it ends? I drive my fist into the wire fence. Suzuha, Ferris, Lukaku, Moeka. Is this what I'd sacrificed your memories for? Is there no other option? No way to save them both? What if I use Suzuha's time machine? I could return to the Beta World line, then use her time machine to travel to July 28th. No, that won't work. The reason Suzuha leapt to 2010 was to prevent CERN from creating dystopia that only occurs on this world line. On the Beta World line, she'll have no reason to leap to 2010. Suzuha's time machine won't exist, so I won't be able to use it. Alright. Then what if I send Kurisu a warning via email? It could say, don't go to Dr. Nakabachi's presentation, but that won't work either, because what happened when he tried to keep Mayuri alive? By dragging her straight out of the room before the guards got there. We had the chase across town where she was hit by a car, we had the taxi where she was stabbed, we had the, what's it called? Mr. Braun's daughter knocking her into the train. And I said there was something weird about that. I reckon she's an arbiter of fate or something like that. And I agree with you, Avian. How could you live with yourself making a choice between this? How could you possibly justify it? No, that won't work either. Remember, causality converges. Kurisu's death is inevitable on Beta World line, just as Mayuri's is inevitable on this world line. The punishment pot was retired, people. No matter what I do, fate will ensure her death. There's no way. I slowly sink to the floor with my back against the fence. I can't save her! I'm powerless against the will of fate. What should I do? What should I do? Maybe Mayuri doesn't die on the current world line. I cancelled Moeka's email. Plus I haven't had an opportunity to check the divergence meter since. Might there be a chance? If the pattern continues, Mayuri's death has been pushed back to the night of the 17th. If Mayuri doesn't die between 7 PM and 8 PM that night, then I won't have to face this horrible decision. I know it's unlikely. I understand that from all my experiences so far. But still, I can't help but cling to that hope. Mayuri and Kurisu. If I can just save them both, then I don't care if the future is ruled by CERN. I'll betray Suzuha's dream, if that's what it takes. Well, if you betrayed Best Girl, Okabe, you burned up any currency you had left with me. So please, let Mayuri live. To who should I make this desperate plea? God? Fate? The universe itself? Either way, I am just one insignificant human among billions. Will my prayers truly reach? I already know what the answer will be. And that knowledge, that certainty, is despair. I'll just make a quick save while I can. Over... I use this one. And just hope that I can't remember if it was anything on there important, but I can always do a new game plus if needs be. Kamimar runs for 3 straight days, from the 15th to the 17th. On the last day, I go with Mayuri and stay with her from morning until Kamimar closes. It's not really my thing, though, and the crowd is ridiculous, so I wait off to the side with Mayuri's bags. From time to time, Mayuri appears with new bags for me to guard, and usually a snack for us to share, but most of the day I spend alone. To some extent, I'm here to escape reality, to empty my mind and forget my fears. But even when I close my eyes, I can still hear the footsteps of death approaching. We're finally home! It's already dark by the time the bus drops us back at Okabe. Mayuri is dragging her costume case behind her. I'm carrying bags covered in moe artwork and loaded with doujinshi. These are all Mayuri's purchases, not mine. Honest, they're definitely not mine. No. I didn't buy them, honest. No. I can't believe she bought so much. I guess the reason she doesn't cosplay herself is that she's too busy shopping. We get off the bus and just stand there for a while. What are you going to do now? Head straight home? Actually, I was thinking of going to the lab. Need something? Not really, but it's been a while since I got to relax with Okabe. I'm a little hungry, so I'll buy some juicy chicken #1 on the way. Maybe Mayuri wants a taste of normalcy again, now that the chaos of Kamimar has ended. I know that feeling. It's quite nice to just get a regular pizza and sit down after you've been walking around in costumes all weekend. One of my future cosplays is going to attract me a lot of attention that I can't actually. But I've still got to wait for the costume to arrive. I can't begrudge her that. I stifle a groan and shrug my shoulders. Back to the lab then. Hey, Okabe, why did you come with Mayushi today? You've never come with me to Kamimar before. You're not interested in moe, right? I like robot anime, but not so much that I'd line up early in the morning for Kamimar each year, like Daru and Mayuri do. So why did you come with me today? She's sharper than she got on. She's like, yeah, that's fine. So why did you come with me then, if you like robot anime? Well, to confirm your death. Those words pop into my head, but I quickly shake them away. Why am I so set on Mayuri dying? I want her to live, remember? Well, I just felt like it. Oh, she's disappointed. She wanted him to like say that he liked her or confess his love. It's like, bruh, you were presented a chance and you blew it. Suddenly, silence. A downhearted frown replaces the usual smile on Mayuri's face. Did my answer upset her? But it's not like I could tell the truth. How do you tell someone they're going to die? Lukaku. I frantically tried to smooth things over. I thought maybe he'd managed to get Lukaku to cosplay, so I came to laugh at him. Too bad he didn't come. Mayuri's not the kind of person who wants to encourage people to make fun of other people, especially in cosplay she's made. Rintaro, hang up the keys to the JCB, now. Yeah, Lukaku would be super popular if he did come now. People would take his picture and post it all over the internet. Then everyone in the world would see how cute he is. And after he became a superstar, Mayushi would see him on TV and think, wow, he's gone so far. It's scary because it's true. Hey, Okabe? Suddenly, Mayuri turns back around and peeks at my face as she walks backwards. Thank you for today. Why are you thanking me? Well, like I said, this is the first time Okarin's ever come to Kamima with me. It made Mayushi really happy. A smile finally returns to Mayuri's face. Ah, but you know what would make me even happier? If you cosplay next time. Yeah, I'll think about it. That's right, don't think negative thoughts. Think about a fun, bright future. Really? You cosplay for me? Only if you cosplay too. Lukaku too. And Christina, of course. Convince them to cosplay first. Trying to turn it into like a big like cos fam to try and get out of the hole he's dug in himself. If you manage that, then I, the great and insane mad scientist Hoin Kyoma, will grace Kamima with my august presence. The next Kamima takes place this winter. We'll all be there, as if none of this ever happened. All of us, laughing and smiling together. Just imagine a future like that. Wow, that's gonna be tough. But it sounds really fun too. Besides, I think Chris-chan secretly wants to cosplay, so there's hope. Mayushi's gonna do her best. We arrive at the lab. I look up at the second floor, but there's no light in the window. Ooh. What's happening here then? We've got the ominous music back, people. Something's definitely going to happen. The shutters are down on Mr. Braun's store as well. Oddly enough, there's nobody here today. Got a bad feeling about this. Is Moeka going to ambush us? On the previous world line, I forgave Moeka and Tanoji. But that has already been undone. This is a new world line. The Rounders are still alive, and they're still after the time leap machine.
Mayuri, ここでちょっと待ってろ.
Wait here, Mayuri. I motion for her to sit and wait on the bench in front, then I carefully check the area. I know my efforts are likely futile, but still, I want to do anything I can, anything to give Mayuri a chance, however small, of surviving on this world line. Something tells me it would be foolish to go straight up to the lab. So first, I decide to check the street for any suspicious people. I walk down towards Kurumabe Dashidori, careful to always keep Mayuri in sight. Suddenly, a white station wagon parked at the end of the street fires its engine and takes off in our direction. What? I can clearly see through the front window. The man in the driver's seat is unfamiliar, but I have seen that white station wagon before. It's the same one Moeka used to run us over on a previous world line. The same one Tanoji used to transport the IBN 5100. And now it's bearing down on me at full speed. I'm in the centre of the road. There's nowhere to run. The station wagon flips on its high beams, instantly turning my vision white. I can't move. It's all happening too fast, and Mayuri is going to knock him out of the way. I expected an ambush inside the lab. Instead, I'm facing a charging car. What do I do? I'm fine. I won't die. This world line hasn't approved that fate. No, wait. What day is it? This is the first time I've made it to the 17th. Does that mean my death is still undecided? Will I die in Mayuri's place? If that will save her, if that will end this, then maybe it's for the best. No! I don't want to die yet. Two contradictory emotions collide in my mind. My body doesn't know which way to turn. Will I be the one to die? Okabe! Something slams into my back. I agree with you, Avian. Dodge would have been the obvious answer, but no. He has instead invited Mayuri to knock him out of the road and take his place. That's what's happened. I open my eyes. I'm lying on the side of the road. Whole body hurts, but I don't appear to be seriously injured. Someone save me. I look up to see the white station wagon's taillights disappearing around the corner. And there, lying in the centre of the road, is Mayuri. Mayuri! I run to her side. Mayuri is bleeding from the head. The pavement is slick with blood. Did she protect me? But that's not what I wanted! I lift her body up in my arms. Her eyes twitch, then slowly open. Oh, Kari. Mayuri, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Her hand wanders, as if seeking something. It reaches for the starry sky. Her eyelids are heavy. They could close any second now. But still, she looks straight into my eyes. And for some reason, she smiles. Finally, Mayuri was... useful to Okabe.
何よ。
What? Stardust handshake. Her delicate fingers grasp at the sky, but all they find is empty air. Her arm goes limp. I grab her hand before it hits the ground. She's no longer breathing. I've seen her die countless times. This time, it's too much. This time, it's all my fault. I embrace Mayuri's tattered body, her lifeless, motionless, tattered body. Clench my jaw and bite back my tears.
Mayuri,
Mayuri!
ここからじゃあんまり星が見えないな。
You can't see the stars from here.
こんなのあんまりだろう。
How could this happen? Why did she have to die like this? What possible meaning could this death have? Yes, it happened because fate demanded it. Yes, her death is unavoidable, the result upon which this world line converges. I knew from the beginning that this would happen, but I never imagined that she would die saving me, and with a smile on her face.
やっと役に立てたって一体どういう意味なんだよな。
What do you mean you were finally useful? Tell me, Mayuri! There is no future for Mayuri on this world line. And that brings me once again to the choice. Do I return to the beta world line, killing Kurisu? Or do I leave things as they are and accept Mayuri's death? I can't run away. I am the one who twisted fate. I am the one who must decide. Do a quick save on a new slot right at the end, I think. The sky is blue. I'm on the roof of Radicam after going back 56 hours with 2 time leaps. I lean against a wire fence and stretch out my legs as I look at the sky. I wanted more time to think. That's why I came back. Last time I spent 2 days refusing to face reality. But that is no longer an option. Now that I've confirmed Mayuri's death, this time I need to reach a decision. But how? This equation has no solution. No matter what more choice I make, someone dies. From a purely utilitarian viewpoint, I should choose the beta world line, where CERN never creates a dystopia. And no worries, Queen. Good evening. You're here but briefly. Well, that's very well. How you doing? Enjoy the rest of your evening so far, I hope. As we're now at the point where we've got the big choice. Mayuri? Or Christina? Difficult. But it's not that simple. Not for me. There must be some other way. According to Suzuha, 2010 is a point of great divergence at the attractor field level. Hey, best girl, good to see you again. I think that divergence had already commenced by the time I sent the D-mail reporting Kurisu's death. So when did divergence begin? When you stood up and criticised the time traveller? I can't say for sure, but I think it's the moment we completed the phone wave. Name subject to change. That was around the middle of July. Dara and I deemed it a failure right after completion. By the time Kurisu was killed, there was already a huge divergence at the attractor field level. Now that I think about it, reading Steiner activated that day, when I sent the D-mail that started it all. At that moment, every pedestrian and vehicle on the main street of Akiba suddenly vanished. That feels so long ago. But now I can finally explain it. That was the moment I moved to the Alpha word line. On the Beta word line, where this all began, Suzuha didn't arrive in her time machine. Dr. Nakabachi's conference went ahead as planned, and the flow of tourists and shoppers through Okabe was unimpeded. But when I sent the D-mail, events changed on a huge scale, from my perspective at least. On the current word line, Suzuha crashed her time machine into the roof of Radican. Nakabachi's presentation was cancelled, and this part of Akiba was closed to traffic. Because I was out on the street when the word line changed, it appeared to me as if thousands of people suddenly vanished. The truth is that they were never there to begin with. Like a magician's trick. It's so obvious once you understand how it works. The real problem is the timing of the D-mail. I moved to the Alpha word line after Kurisu died. If I had sent the D-mail before she died, then I might have been able to intervene, even now, on this word line. But no, that would defy causality. I sent that D-mail because I saw Kurisu's body. That's the way it has to be. Who killed her anyway? I still don't know. It definitely wasn't suicide. What if I identify the murderer and send them a D-mail warning them off? Would that prevent her death? I mean, no one has tried to kill her on this world line, have they? Maybe there's a chance. However, to send that D-mail, I would first have to move to the Beta world line. The more I think about it, the more futile it seems. And yeah, awesome Queen, you're doing okay, but you're cooking dinner. Nice. Let's say, I kind of cooked tonight. It was mostly boiling materials and putting things in the oven. And in fact, I just need to very quickly go away from my computer. Only for a second, because I just remembered something. One sec. Well, I say I remembered something, it's more a case of I forgot something. I went through tons of this on the stream, and what did I forget to bring in for tonight's stream? A bottle of water. You'd think I'd have planned ahead and got used to this, having done the 24-hour, but hey ho. Let's get back to normal now. Aha, sweet, using the pressure cooker, great style, great way of doing it. Oh, well, I just realised, there we are, let's cut it back into the app and off we go. I've already seen Mayuri die countless times. Everything I tried to prevent it failed. I understand all too well. When fate wants someone dead, nothing can stop it. I can't save Kurisu. Who's this? There you are. I thought I was alone, but it seems that I was wrong. I turn around to see Kurisu standing in the open door. I avert my eyes. I can't look her in the face, not now. What are you doing here? Nothing. How did you know I was here? You said you wanted to be alone. I ran the numbers and concluded that I had the greatest probability of finding you here. Then leave me alone. You don't have to look for me. I'm not a lost little boy. Hey, is that how you treat someone who's worried about you? Not that I'm worried about you or anything. Right after she gets herself flustered, Kurisu sighs and puts on a serious expression.
放っておこうかと思った。
I was gonna leave you alone at first.
ただ、一昨日の岡部、なんか変だったから。まあいつも変なんだけど、いつも以上にって意味で。
But you've been acting weird the last couple of days. I mean, you're always weird, but more than usual. So yes, she knows that he obviously knows something, and the question is he going to tell her? On the other world lines we've visited, Karisu's been the confidant who's given him the strategy. Maybe telling her that if he does this she dies, is there any way to avoid it? She might come up with another one. It's an idea.
くそまずいオートミール食べてる時みたいなしょげっぷりじゃない？何があった？
You look like a kid forced to eat crappy oatmeal. What happened? Yeah, crappy oatmeal. Still, it's better than the cough up.
何も。
Nothing.
だったら、なんでセルンへのクラッキングをやめたの？
Then why did you cancel the cracking of CERN?
お前だってクラッキングは良くないと言っていただろう。
You're the one who said we shouldn't.
大イーホフラグが立ってビビったんですね。わかります。
Oh, so you're afraid of triggering arrest flags. I get it.
せめて順法精神に目覚めたと言ってくれ。
You should praise me for obeying the law for a change.
全然らしくないな。いつもの独善的な態度はどこ行ったのよ。狂気のマッドサイエンティスト、法王院京馬のくせに。
That's not like you at all. What happened to your ego? What happened to the insane mad scientist? Ho-in Kyo.
独善的でなんかいられるか。
To hell with my ego! Huh?
今回ばかりは独善的じゃいられないんだ。
This time, it's not that simple. I've forced my ego on others before. Suzuha, Faris, Lukaku. I sacrificed their dreams for the sake of my goal. I justified it by telling myself that it was necessary to save Mayuri. I weighed their suffering against the alternative and made my self-righteous choice. But this time, the alternatives are impossible to compare.
仲間のどちらを見殺しにするかって決断を前にして独善的でいられたらむしろどれだけ楽だっただろうな。
I have to choose which friend to let die. It would be so much easier if I knew what was right.
どちらかを見殺しってどういう意味？
Which friend to let die? What are you talking about?
なあ、クリスティーナ。俺は所詮ただの学生なんだよ。
I'm just a student, Christina. You know. Mr. Jack, in terms of Final Fantasy games for the Xbox One X, I believe Final Fantasy VII Remake is due to be ported soon. It's not going to have the full 4K, I don't think. I think that's exclusive to PS5. But there is a 1440p version, I believe, which is either due out this year or is due very shortly. And there's loads from the 360 and Xbox One era. I think Final Fantasy... I wouldn't be surprised if Final Fantasy 15 was out on that platform. Final Fantasy 13 certainly was.
狂気のマッドサイエンティスト。法王院京馬。そんなの全部妄想だ。設定だ。気づかなかっただろ。
The insane mad scientist. Ho-in Kyoma. That's just a fantasy. A character I made up. I bet you had no idea.
いや、初対面時点でなんとなく気づいてましたが。
I may have figured that out when we first met.
初対面か。
When we first met. What if I hadn't found Karisu's body back then? Let's try imagining that situation. If I hadn't seen Karisu dead, I wouldn't have interrogated her before the seminar at ATF. Without hearing me call her a zombie, she wouldn't have taken an interest in me. She wouldn't have come to the lab. Ultimately, we would never have built the time leak machine, leaving me without the means to save Mayuri. And of course, Kurisu would not have become our friend. We would not be as close as we are right now.
答えて岡部。どういう意味なの？
Tell me, Okabe, what do you mean? I can't meet her questioning gaze.
どうしても言わないとダメか。
Do I have to tell you?
散々相談に乗ってやったでしょ。
You've never hesitated to ask me for help before.
今さら遠慮するな。
Don't hold back now. That's not what this is about.
だったら覚悟してくれ。
Then prepare yourself.
これから話すのは相談じゃない。事実だ。
What I'm about to tell you is the absolute truth.
お前にとっては死亡宣告になる。
And it could also be your death sentence. Eh? Kurisu's voice cracks a little.
俺は説明したよな。セルにクラッキングをすることでマユリが死ぬことのないベータ世界線へたどり着けると。
Remember what I told you before? When we delete the D-mail from CERN's database, we'll reach the beta wordline, where Mayuri doesn't die.
2036年のセルンのディストピアもなくなる。自由な未来が待ってるバラ色の世界線。そんな風に聞こえた。
And where CERN doesn't take over the world, right? Everyone lives, everyone is free. You made it sound perfect.
バラ色なものかよ。
Perfect? It's anything but.
元凶となった最初の D メール。その内容はお前にも見せたはずだ。
I showed you the first D-mail, didn't I? The one that started it all?
ベータ世界線ではそのメールの内容が実際に起きた。
On the beta world line, the events that happened in that D-mail actually happened. Kurisu is a genius. I have no doubt that she understands.
ベータ世界線ではお前は
Kurisu. On the beta world line,
7月28日に死んでいるんだ。クリス。
you die on July 28th.
そしてそれはアトラクターフィールド理論による収束のせいでどうしても回避できない。
And according to the attractor field model, nothing can prevent that from happening.
マユリを救おうとするなら俺はお前を見殺しにしないといけないんだ。
If I want to save Mayuri, I have no choice but to let you die. Kurisu says nothing. What expression is she making now? I reluctantly sneak a look at her face. She's staring out across the cityscape. Her eyes look distant. I see neither fear nor sadness in her face. She seems accepting. Kurisu is always like this. Always calm, no matter what. It's hard to believe she's younger than me. Her soft chestnut hair blows in the wind. She lifts a hand to hold it down.
ねえ、岡部。
Hey, Okabe.
アトラクターフィールドってどこまで信憑性があると思う？
How credible do you find this attractor field model?
信憑性？
Credible?
あれって全部ジョン・タイター、天音さんの受け売りでしょ？
It's our second-hand info from John Titor, from Amine Suzanne, isn't it?
2036年時点ではスタンダードらしいけど、
I get that it's the accepted model in 2036.
その時代の研究者たちは一体どうやってそれが正しいって証明したの？
But how exactly did scientists prove the existence of attractor fields?
理論が間違っていると言いたいのか。だが確かに収束は存在する。俺はそれを身をもって体験した。
Are you trying to say that the model may be wrong? But I know for certain that convergence exists. I've experienced it first hand.
収束は正しいとしても、
Even if they're right about convergence,
無限個に枝分かれした世界線が重ね合わせ状態になっているっていうのは、
what about the relationship between world lines?
俺が世界線を移動すると世界は再構成される。過去から未来までだ。
I've got to say, that's jarring where they've got squashed text here and then regular font underneath it. That is weird. That's really hard on the eyes. The moment I change world lines, everything is reconstructed. Past, present, and future.
それって岡部の主観での話でしょ？
But that's just from your perspective, Okabe.
あんたの脳が認識してる私はベータ世界線に行くと死んでるのよね。
Once you go to the beta world line, the me that your brain perceives will die.
それはつまり私が死んでいる世界線と私が死んでいない世界線のうちあんたの主観が前者を選んだってことになるわけだけど。
In other words, your perspective will have chosen the world line where I die instead of the one where I don't. However,
あんたの脳が認識する世界と私の脳が認識する世界は別物かもしれないっていう可能性はないのかな。
why can't the world your brain perceives be different from the world my brain perceives? Brains. I forgot her specialty was neuroscience.
別物って世界が分裂するということか。
So you're saying world lines are independent?
分裂というか電車みたいなものなのかも。
Like trains, maybe.
電車？
Trains?
わかりやすい例を挙げると、
Let me give you an easy example. Yes, you get the 0725 from my station to Leeds. One day it arrives on time, and then for the next 9 months it's always 10 minutes late. That one train is the anomaly. Can you tell I'm happy about the potential prospect of commuting back to work? Yeah. Commuting. Carissa takes out her phone and starts fiddling with it.
路線図で調べてみたけど、秋葉原から横浜に行くのにどの路線を選ぶか。
If I want to take the train from Akiba to Yokohama, which route should I use? Akiba to Tokyo City and then the Shinkansen to Shin Yokohama would be the fastest way. But you could also, theoretically, go from Akiba to Shinagawa, I think, and then jump on the Keihin Tohoku line and go out that way.
お前鉄オタだったのか。
I didn't know you were a rail fan. Or a Densha Otaku, as it's known in Japanese. Densha being the Japanese word for train, Otaku being the word for nerd. Yep, Queen giggling at the comments and about the trains, and again, everyone like me, not missing the commute. But yes, according to this rail fan, is short for railroad fanatic, and Otaku with an interest in trains. Over here we call them train spotters. And I actually know people who literally go and stand on railway bridges and wait for a train to come past so they can just tick it off in the book. To each their own, but I don't quite understand that personally.
違う。例えよ、例え。
It's just an example, jeez.
あんたは山手線で東京駅まで出て、そこから東海道本線に乗るのを選んだ。
You choose to take the Yamanote line to Tokyo Station, then transfer to the Tokaido main line for the rest of the trip. Carissa keeps talking as she looks at her phone, apparently reading off an itinerary.
でも私は山手線で大崎まで行った後、湘南新宿ラインに乗った。
Ah, so she's come up with a route I didn't come up with. But I take the Yamanote line to Osaki, then transfer to the Shonan Shinjuku line.
もしかしたら別の人。橋田なんかはそもそもいきなり秋葉原から京浜東北線に乗っちゃうかもしれない。
What did I tell you, the Keihin Tohoku? Trust in me, I've been to Japan, I know. Another person, say Hashida-san, might decide to take the Keihin Tohoku line for some reason.
マユリなら東京から新幹線に乗るかも。
And again, say Shinkansen from Tokyo. You know, Again, trust in me.
And Mayuri might ride the Shinkansen from Tokyo.
岡部と私は東京駅までは同じ電車に乗ってるけど、そこからは違う線に乗って同じ目的地を目指している。
You and I ride the same train until Tokyo Station, but from there we ride different lines, while still aiming for the same destination.
それを世界に当てはめるとパラレルワールドを主張するのか。
And that applies to the universe? You're claiming the existence of parallel worlds?
たまには私も妄想ぐらいする。
I'd like to use my imagination too, sometimes.
でも世界が一つだと誰が証明した？
But where's the proof that there's only one world?
鈴葉の言葉と俺のリーディングシュタイナーが。
Suzuha said so. And then there's reading Steiner.
正体不明のタイムトラベラーと原因不明の特殊能力ね。
In other words, an unknown time traveler and your unexplainable superpower.
鈴葉は正体不明では。
But we knew Suzuha.
彼女が橋田の娘かどうかは誰にも証明できない。2036年から来たかも、ディストピアのことも証明できない。実際に2036年にならないとね。
There's no way to prove that she was Hashida's daughter, or anything she said about 2036 either. Not without going there ourselves.
そもそも、もしリーディングシュタイナーが正しいなら、あらゆる人間の記憶があんたの主観に引きずられていることになる。
And if reading Steiner is what you say, then it means that your subjective experience influences the memories of every single human being.
そんなの無理がありすぎる。もしそうだったら、岡部は文字通り神よ。
That's completely absurd, Akabe. If it's true, then you're literally a god.
でも現実には神なんていない。
But there are no gods in reality.
Oh, don't say that at Comic Con. You get all the Shin Megami Tensei fans going, one more god betrayed! or some phrase like that. I've heard it from the Shin Megami Tensei 3 fans. One more god rejected, that's it. One more god rejected, that's the phrase I've heard.
世界はあんたを中心に回っているわけじゃない。
The world doesn't revolve around you.
あんたの脳がそう錯覚させているだけ。
It's just your brain making you believe that it does.
世界にとってあんたが神だというなら、同体積の脳を持つ私も世界にとって神になれるわけで。
If that makes you this world's god, then I must be a god too. My brain is just as big as yours.
何が言いたいんだ。
What are you trying to say?
仮に岡部の主観が私が死ぬ世界線を選んだとして、私の主観も同じように私が死ぬ世界線を選ぶとは限らない。
Let's say you choose the world line where I die. That doesn't mean I have to do the same.
それは私の主観がここに存在していることからもわかる。
The fact is that I am standing here right now, observing the world with my own subjectivity.
すでにこの世界線は私が死なない世界線なわけだから。
I already exist on a world line where I don't die.
あんたの主観がベータ世界線に行ってしまっても、私の主観はここに留まることだってできるのかもしれない。
Even if your perspective shifts to the beta world line, my perspective might remain here.
精神はどこにあるかって話。そして私は私の精神をあんたの好きにさせたくない。
It's a question of where the soul lies, and I won't let you have your way with my soul.
科学者とは思えないほどのファンタジーな理論だ。
No true scientist would accept a hypothesis that flimsy. Yes, but don't forget, you're the mad scientist, Horrid Kyoma! So you would.
でも可能性はゼロじゃない。
But there's a chance I'm right.
だからあんたは何も心配する必要はない。
So you have nothing to worry about.
Karisu smiles. How can she smile? I just told her that she's going to die.
私を見殺しにできないって言って悩んでるのよね。
The problem is that you don't want to let me die, right?
でも今の私の仮説で言えば、私は別の可能性世界線で生き続けていける。
But if my hypothesis is correct, I'll still be alive on another possible world line.
Right, he might have just said it was a persona, but I'd still say he still accepts it. He still believes it. He's chosen that persona because he has that belief deep down inside him. At least that's my excuse.
だからそもそも岡部は悩む必要なんてない。
So there's no reason to be afraid.
仮説は仮説だ。
It's just a hypothesis.
アトラクタフィールド理論だって仮説。
The same is true of attractor fields.
まだ誰にも何も証明されてないから。2036年時点では証明されていたとしても、その証明を今の私たちは確認できないから。
It hasn't been proven. Even if someone did prove it by 2036, that doesn't help us here in the present.
そう考えれば、
In other words,
未来の可能性は無限よ。
anything is possible.
Kurita turns her back to me after finishing. It's an armchair theory. A daring armchair theory that could, quite possibly, render meaningless everything I've done up to now. How can Kurisu stay so calm? She's just an 18-year-old girl. Yes, she's just an 18-year-old girl who's a lot more intelligent than you.
ちなみに心配なんかしてくれなくてもいいから。岡部にそんなことされたら結構プライド傷つく。
You really don't have to worry about me, Okabe. It would just hurt my pride if you did.
そんな言い方。
Don't say it like that.
もしもし、
Hello?
Ah,
マユリか。
Mayuri?
yeah.
Displayed on my screen is Mayuri's face, devoid of its usual brightness for some reason.
どうした？
What's wrong?
ダル君から聞いたんだ。オカリンがなんだか変だったって。
I heard from Darakun that Okarin's been acting kinda strange.
マヨシーはコミマに夢中になってて、オカリンのことよく見ててあげられなかったね。
Mayashi was so preoccupied with Kamimar, she didn't really notice.
いつもならオカリンが元気なかったらすぐに気づくのに。
Even though she usually notices right away when Okarin's not happy.
ごめんね。
I'm sorry, Okarin.
Don't apologise. You've done nothing wrong.
でね、何かあったの？
Did something happen?
オカリン？
Okarin?
I can't tell her. I can't. I've kept it a secret from her all this time. That's the way it has to be.
何もないよ。
There's nothing wrong.
そっか。
Oh,
あのね、前はよくマヨシーにいろんな話してくれたよね。
you know, you used to talk to Mayashi about a lot of things, remember?
例えば、機関には幹部が4人いて、それぞれゲップとスダチと声優とジャコだっけ。
Seriously? That's the dreaded organisation? That's what he's come up with? I can't say I'm surprised, but at the same time I'm facepalming.
Like, the organization's 4 leaders. Their names are Black Turkish, Virginian Burp, Balloon Drag Queen, and Wide-Eyed Gore, right?
玄武とスザクと清流と白虎だ。
I actually think Mayashi's names are probably a lot closer. I actually think Mayashi's probably got it right here. It's the kind of thing he would do. Black tortoise, vermilion bird, blue dragon and white tiger.
そうそう、それ。
Yeah, that.
そういうね、オカリンのお話、とっても面白かったな。
You know, it was really fun talking to Okarin about stuff like that.
でも、
But now,
ねえオカリ
um,
あのねマユシーのこと重荷に感じてたら言ってね
Okabe, if Mayushi's a burden, just say so, okay?
そんなこと
What? I never...
じゃあとりあえず切るねもしマユシーにいろいろお話ししたいなって思ったらいつでも電話してくれていいからね
I'm hanging up now. If you feel like talking to Mayushi about anything, just call, okay?
じゃあトゥットゥルー
Yeah. She hung up on me.
マユリなんだって
What did Mayuri say?
あいつ何が重荷だよ勝手に自分を責めやがってふざけるなよクソ
How are you a burden? Don't say things like that! Damn it!
いつもは空気を読めないくせになんでこういう時だけ
Why is she only serious at times like this?
重荷
A burden, huh?
俺は一度だってマユリを重荷に感じたことはない
I've never felt Mayuri was a burden. Not once.
だったらそれをはっきり言ってあげればいい
Then you should tell her that.
Maybe it wasn't a good idea to leave Mayuri in the dark. She never looks like she's thinking anything, and yet she saw my doubt. Either way, I can't tell her the truth.
岡部
Okabe.
Kurisu sighs and glares at me.
これまでのあんたなら悩んだりしなかったはず
The OG wouldn't have worried about anything.
とりあえずマユリに会いに行くべき
Anyway, you should go see Mayuri.
あの子だっていろいろ思うところがあるんだろうし
I'm sure she has a lot to say.
She's right. Even if I don't tell Mayuri the truth, I need to at least tell her something. I'll postpone my decision and go see Mayuri. At some point, I'm going to have to make a decision. That's my oldest save. Actually, no, that is. I'll use this one. This is the problem. I've got that many saves now, but I've actually filled the pages, so I don't know which ones to overwrite now. I'm at that point. The save screen's not any easier. It really isn't. I think that was the sound of someone trying to rev a V8 right outside my window. Luckily they're closed, but it's still annoying. It's afternoon on the first day of Kamimar, and the crowds are finally beginning to thin out. It's like, I don't know if it's getting a bit dark in here, so give me a second. Wow, that's better. It's not going to be a straining on my eyes now. So we apologise for that. Let's carry on. Of course, the industry booths and cosplay area are still packed, but at least I don't have to wait in line to get in. I've been trying to get in touch with Mayuri for a while now, but she hasn't responded. I'm guessing that I can't contact her either. Yeah, I can't contact anybody. I'm not allowed. I've noticed I've never once been able to use the internet on this game, which is a bit surprising. I checked with Daru, but he hasn't seen her today either. Cosplay ends at 4 PM. I focused on searching the cosplay area until then, but I still can't find her. Maybe she finished early and went home. I tried calling her home. No luck. They haven't seen her since she left earlier this morning.
Where is she?
I'm always afraid that she'll disappear the second I take my eyes off her. It's been like that ever since she lost her grandmother. Maybe it's just my imagination. It's a very Alice kind of look, you know, with the dress and everything else in the rain and the Wellingtons. But being so close for so long, I saw Mayuri at her weakest and most vulnerable. Mayuri Maybe that has made me overprotective, sorry. But I don't care how other people see us. I just can't leave Mayuri alone. I step into the cemetery, the final resting place of Mayuri's beloved grandmother. When was the last time I came here? For about a year after Mayuri became my hostage, I periodically accompany her here. But I don't think I've been here since I entered high school. So it's been about 3 or 4 years. As I get closer to Mayuri's grandmother's grave, I begin to hear a voice. It's Mayuri. I'd recognize her voice anywhere. It sounds like she's talking to someone. I approach quietly.
Hey, Granny.
Mayuri is, well, crouching there rather than standing, but we'll carry on. Is standing there, talking to the grave. What a relief. She hasn't disappeared. I decide to watch silently from a short distance away.
I've been having scary dreams lately.
For a second I wonder if she's learned to commune with the dead. But no, she's just talking to herself.
In my dreams, bad things keep happening to me.
Now that'd be interesting if Mayuri actually has memories of how she's died on other word lines. That'd be very interesting.
Like someone shoots me, or a car hits me, or I get run over by a train.
What? Don't tell me.
It's so real. It hurts so much. And I feel so sad. And I try to call for help, but nothing comes out. Why do you think I'm having these dreams?
Does she remember her deaths? All of them? Is she inheriting memories like I do?
And you know, they always end the same way. Mayushi's crying, and Okabe comes to save me. Mayushi tries to say, "Thank you, Okabe," but Okabe can't hear my voice. He holds Mayushi and makes a very sad face like he's going to cry, but he never does, you know? I can tell he's forcing himself not to cry.
Come to think of it, both Faris and Lukaku remembered their memories from before the task changed. I used to think that memories couldn't be shared between word lines. I used to think that I was the exception with reading Steiner. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe everyone has the same power, and the only difference is how strong it is. Maybe reading Steiner is nothing special after all.
That makes Mayushi even more sad. I try to say, sorry, sorry, but he still can't hear. And that's when I wake up. Why am I having these dreams?
I've failed so many times to save her. I've watched her die again and again. Everything I've done has been to prevent that from happening. And yet, have the memories of those deaths been tormenting her as she sleeps? I bite my lip in frustration. I still have a terrible decision to make. Do I save Mayuri? Or do I save Kurisu? And yeah, Queen. It's more like... Well, she keeps mentioning about the burden, doesn't she? And I'm guessing that's what she's taking it as. Her death is a burden to Okabe. I think that's what she's trying to apologise for, because as you say, she's not responsible for what happens to her. She's the foil chosen by fate. There's no perfect ending here. I can't save them both. It's one or the other. If I choose Kurisu, then Mayuri's dreams will become reality. I don't want Mayuri to feel any pain. Until now, I thought only of saving her. That is my goal. But at the same time, I can't let Kurisu die. Again, my thoughts hit the same dead end. Mayuri hasn't noticed me yet. She's still staring at the sky, just as she was on the day I took her hostage. She's talking to her grandmother in heaven.
Oh, right. We have a lot more lab members now, you know? There's Chris-chan, Moeka-san, Luka-kun, and Ferris-chan. There's also Suzu-san, but she moved away. That makes 8 of us. It's really amazing.
On this world line, they all became lab members. However, not a single one of them has sent an email. Are you sure about that, Okabe? Are you really sure about that?
You know, it was just Okarin and Mayushi at first. Back then, Okarin seemed kinda bored most of the time. But now, he's having so much fun. Is that how she sees it? Well, she's not wrong. She really does know me, doesn't she? And that makes Mayushi happy too. It's so busy, but it's really exciting. Especially now that Chris-chan is here. She's really smart, you know. She got a paper published in a famous magazine. Mayushi really admires her. She even made a time machine. Oh, but can't forget Okarin and Darakun helped too.
Then Mayuri falls silent. Her gaze becomes distant. She stands still and looks up to the sky. What could she be thinking?
But you know, sometimes I remember. Back when it was just the two of us. When Mayushi had only just become Okarin's hostage.
オカリンが少し遅れてやってきて
I'd go to the lab after school, but Okarin wouldn't be there. So I'd tidy up the room and decorate it with cute things. Then Okarin would finally show up here a little later.
マユシーがおかえりって言うとオカリンはただいまとは言わなくてご苦労って偉そうに答えてた
Mayuri would say, "Welcome back." But instead of saying, "I'm back," Okarin would say, "Good work," like a big boss or something.
その後は毎日2時間ぐらい2人でぼんやり過ごして一緒に電車でお家に帰るの
Every day, we'd spend a few hours just hanging out, doing nothing, and then we'd go home together.
その2時間はね会話なんてほとんどなくてでも嫌な沈黙とかじゃなくて
We didn't talk much, but it wasn't bad.
ただそこにいるっていう感じで
We were just there, together, you know?
2人で並んでソファーに座ってオカリンはラボの作戦計画書みたいなのを書いててマユシーは漫画読んだりゲームしたりして
We'd sit next to each other on the sofa. Okarin would work on his big plans, and Mayushi would read manga or play games.
たまに思い出したようにね一緒にお菓子を食べてた
And sometimes we'd have a snack together.
とてもゆっくり優しく時間が流れてて
It was so nice and relaxing.
それでもいいかななんて思ったり
I never wanted to leave.
まるでマユシーは本当に人質になっちゃったみたいだなとかふと思って一人でえへへって笑ったり
I'd start feeling like a real hostage, and I'd laugh to myself.
オカリンはニコニコしてるマユシーを見てねこういうの
Then Okarin would turn to me and say,
I remember. Ah, finally, I can drop Mayoshi's cutesy voice and take it straight off my throat. Perils of being a live voice actor, people. I'm not doing any approach where you just read it in your own voice every line. So if you're going to try and do that, yeah, be a bit more prepared. It was 4 months ago. Still spring. The lab wasn't as lively as it is now. It was an isolated bubble of slow-moving time.
何かいいことでもあったのか
Did something good happen?
あのねいいことはなかったけどあったよ
Yep, thanks to that one queen saying but briefly. Well, a brief refuge is better than none.
"Yep. Well, not really, but kinda."
そうか幻想を見たのだろうそれはもしかすると機関の幹部の一人通称イリュージョンコンダクターからの攻撃である可能性がある
Ah, it must have been an illusion. We could be under attack from Illusion Conductor, one of the organization's feared agents.
そっかじゃあ気をつけなきゃでもねきっとそのイリュージョンコダクさんっていう人は
Oh, I'm not reading that final word out.
Oh, gotta be careful then. But you know, I'm sure that Mr. Illusion...
コダクさんではないコンダクターだ
Yeah, I'm not reading that line out either.
その人はきっと悪い人じゃないと思うな
I'm sure he's not a bad guy.
It was nothing. Just meaningless chatter to pass the time.
それはマユシーにはすごく心地よくて
I felt so happy there.
なんだか泣きそうなくらい嬉しくて
So happy I could cry.
このままずっと続いてほしいなって思ってた
I wanted to stay like that forever.
あ今の賑やかさが嫌ってわけじゃないんだよ
Ah, but that doesn't mean I don't like how things are now, okay?
Mayuri shakes her head in denial. Finally, she stops looking up at the sky and bows her head instead.
最近ねオカリンと話 話す時間ちょっと減っちゃった。
You know, I haven't talked to Okabe much lately.
だからね、マユシーは寂しくなっちゃったのかもしれないね。
Maybe Mayushi's getting a little lonely.
It's true. I haven't had time to talk to her lately. But that's because I've been fighting to prevent her death. To keep her dreams from coming true. Also that Mayuri will keep smiling. I never again want to see her cry like she did on the day her grandmother died.
でもね、オカリンの重荷にはなりたくないんだ。
But you know, I don't want to be a burden on Okabe.
That word again. Burden. I've never thought of her as a burden.
マユシーはいつもオカリンに迷惑かけてばっかりだから。
Mayushi's just one big nuisance, isn't she?
おばあちゃん、
Granny?
Mayuri lifts her face one more.
いつまでもこのままじゃいられないよね。
I can't stay like this forever, can I?
このままでいい。
Of course you can.
Huh?
When I finally speak to Mayuri, she turns my way with a surprised expression. Her face is so soft, so innocent. Slowly, her lips curve into a smile.
オカリンだー。
It's Okabe!
あ、すごいね。どうしてここにいるってわかったの？
Wow, how'd you know I was here?
人質がどこにいるのか、俺は常に把握しているのだ。
I always know where my hostage is.
人質。
Hostage?
だからお前は俺の手からは逃れられん。絶対にだ。
You cannot escape my grasp. Not ever.
そっか。
Oh,
でもね、あんまり無理したらダメだよ。
but don't wear yourself out, okay?
マユシーはね、ちょっぴり心配なのです。
Mayushi's a little worried.
お前に心配されるほどこの法王院京馬はヤワではないのだ。
Hoin Kyoma is not so weak as to require your concern. You say you're psychic, Queen. I suppose there's a way that you could telegraph and read the story, isn't there? I'm not going to spoil it for everybody else.
マユリ、話せる時が来たら全て話す。
When the time comes, I'll tell you everything.
Huh?
だからそれまでお前は何も変わらずにいてくれ。
So stay with me until then. Like you always have.
Okay.
Mayuri stands up and turns to the grave once more. As an offering, she leaves a brand new white lily, as well as some dango dumplings.
オカリン、帰ろう。
Let's head back, Okabe.
帰る前に団子を食べるんだろ。
Shouldn't we get some dango for ourselves first? Back when we used to visit the cemetery together, it was part of our daily routine to eat dango on the way back. Ah, fair enough, Queen, yeah. That was your line for when the... Yeah, of course. How did you know I was here? And again, that's a nice little Easter egg reference for those of you who've played another game series. I don't want to say which in case it's a spoiler.
もちろんだよ。
Of course.
Right, okay. My second oldest save, I'll use this one. Akiba is empty again today. The Otaku have all made the exodus to Komimar for the second day of battle. But come nightfall, they will return to Akiba like a victorious army laden with spoils, and the streets will be chaos. I know Daru has gone to Komimar. The question is, has Mayuri? I hope she has. I want things to be normal again. I remember what I heard yesterday. The feelings Mayuri expressed at her grandmother's grave. The events of the last few weeks have affected her as well. After I escorted Mayuri home from the cemetery, I spent the whole night racking my brain for a third option, a way out of this mess. My thoughts were a jumble, ideas coming and going too fast to judge which were right and which were wrong. But of course, there isn't a right choice here. For in the end, it always comes back to the same question. Who do I let die? And no matter how I try to dance around it, the answer is always the same. I can't choose. Is there no one else who can make this decision? No. Even if there were, I know I'd never accept their choice, whichever it happened to be. Once again, I'm heading for the roof of Radicam. I had to get out of the lab. Mayuri or Karisu might return at any moment, and I can't face them right now. I look up at the sky. The clouds are dark and heavy. It could start raining any minute now. Huh? I thought I was alone, but someone was here before me. Karisu was lying in the middle of the roof, arms and legs spread as if making a snow angel. The image of Karisu in a pool of blood flashes through my mind. Is she alright? I run towards her, but before I make it halfway, she suddenly splits up and turns to face me.
Okabe-ka.
Okabe,
生きてたか。
you're alive.
What a dumb thing to say. Fortunately, it looks like Karisu didn't hear me. She's busy combing her dishevelled hair with her fingers. I breathe a silent sigh of relief.
そっか。ここだとあんたと会っちゃう可能性があること。忘れてた。
Right. I forgot I might run into you here.
何をしていたんだ。
What were you doing?
考え事。
Thinking.
そうか。
Oh.
Was she thinking about her death?
I don't know what to say, so I keep my mouth shut. Karisu appears to be in the same boat. She's staring at the capsule toy dispenser in the corner, her face wearing the usual frown. The awkward silence drags on. When you think about it, Karisu's fate rests in my hands, and I bet I can't do anything with the phone. Nope, there's no choices here. Apart from changing the settings. Oh, what's this? Ha ha ha! Go on, I'm going to change it just because I can. Think strange. My decision will determine whether she lives or dies. Her fantastic hypothesis yesterday was a desperate attempt to construct a scenario where she doesn't die. Even if she believes her theory is correct, it must be difficult for her to avoid imagining her own death. I force a smile. I'm getting really uncomfortable here.
邪魔になっているようだから。俺はもう行く。
Looks like I'm in your way, so I'll just go.
Oh, okay.
Damn, I was expecting a sarcastic remark like, since when do mad scientists have manners or something? Just then, something cold lands on the tip of my nose. When I look up, the raindrops start landing on my head. An evening shower. It's only going to get more intense, and quickly. Karisu hasn't moved a muscle. She's just standing there, with her arms folded, staring at the ground as she doesn't notice the rain at all.
おい。雨が降ってきてるぞ。
Hey, it's raining.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
She's acting strange, like her mind is elsewhere. I knew it. She's been thinking about... Whoa! In less than a minute, the rain turns to a full downpour. We had no time to seek shelter.
What the hell?
Carisu's scream is drowned out by the roar of the rain.
びっくり。
Huh, what a surprise.
夕立を甘く見たな。
That's what you get for tempting the sky gods. Now safely inside the building, we take a moment to catch our breath. Are these capsule toys going to be important, I wonder? Because in the prologue, Mayuri got the Upar, which was a metal one, and then lost the metal Upar. Is that going to be a key token to the whole mystery, I wonder? Like that moment of happenstance, Chaos Sphere. It's been a week since Scissorhar's time machine disappeared, but Radican is still closed. The lights are off, and it's pretty dark inside.
早く忠告してよ。おかげで下着までびしょ濡れじゃない。
You should have warned me sooner. Even my underwear is soaked.
右に同じく。この暗さに助けられたな、助手よ。
Same here. I bet you're glad it's dark, huh?
どういう意味？
What do you mean?
もしラジカンが営業していたら、今頃お前のあられもない姿が多くの人間の前にあらわにされていただろう。
If the lights were on, I'd be able to see everything. Even in the dim light, I could tell that Carissa was scrambling to cover her chest.
あんたも変態だってこと。忘れてた。
I forgot that you're a perv too.
自分から下着までびしょ濡れだと申告しておいてよく言う。
You're the one who announced that your underwear was wet. Oh! Yeah, that implies something else. I think it's better I leave that in the gutter where it belongs. I probably dropped enough clues. I don't need to say any more.
これ以上口聞かないで。下着の色とかよくも妄想したな。許さないから。
Just drop it. If you're imagining what color my underwear is, I'll kill you.
妄想などしてない。
I'm not imagining anything. She's too self-conscious. But the colour of her underwear, huh? Gotta be white.
冷えるか。
Cold?
だから脱いで乾かせって。ふざけないで。変態の手に引っかかるもんか。
I'm not stripping naked, if that's what you're suggesting. Your perfect tricks won't work on me.
I'm glad that you appreciate that shout, Queen. I thought you might.
誰もそんなこと言ってないだろう。少し落ち着け。
Who said strip? Calm down, will you?
ま、たとえ服を脱いだとしても、この暗さだから案ずることはない。お前の貧相なヌード姿は誰にも見られることは。
Oh, Mayday, Mayday, alert, alert, abort mission, abort mission. But if you want to strip, go right ahead. I can't make out your scrawny figure in this light anyway.
それ以上喋ると、あんたの大脳新皮質をポン酢につけて、高級料亭で提供してやるんだから。
Another word, and I'll make you eat your cerebral neocortex with ponzu sauce.
すまん。
Sorry. Please, spare me that horror. Still, these wisecracks are a welcome distraction.
夕立ならすぐに止むわよね。それまで待つか。
A storm like that shouldn't last long. Guess we'll just wait it out.
I see Carisu's shadowy form move to sit on the staircase. I sit next to her.
なんで横に。
Hey, get your own stair.
なんで。
What?
喋るなと言ったのはお前だ、クリスティーナ。
You're the one who said not to speak.
あんまり近くに来ないでよ。
You're too close.
今ぐらいの距離が限界だから。これ以上離れるとは言わないけど、これ以上近づいたら押し返すからな。
Don't come any closer, okay? You can stay where you are, but come any closer and I'll push you away, okay?
Yeah, she needs quite a lot of balm, doesn't she? Like, really high level. I'd say it's completely ruined any chances he had. Well, it should do. Our bodies gradually grow cold. We start shivering. Maybe I should take off my wet clothes. Bad idea. Very bad idea. But if I do that, Carissa would just call me a perv again. Better not. My eyes gradually adjust to the darkness. I see Karisu more clearly now. She's huddled up against the wall. That's quite an interesting style actually gone for there, but they kind of made it more very, very light coloured. So it's not quite black and white. It's an interesting subtle touch. I mean, if I was going to be an artist critic, I'd say there's too much light on one side of the body and everything like that, but I'm not an art critic, so I can't do that.
Don't look at me.
バカな。この暗さでは俺がどこを見ているかなどわからないはず。
Impossible! How can you see where I'm looking? Does she have infravision?
やっぱり見てたのか？
So you were looking.
Damn! She used leading question on me. That's such a high level technique. I avert my eyes from Carissa and take off my lab coat. That's when I notice my coat is torn at the shoulder.
屋上から避難した時にどこかに引っ掛けたか。
Damn! Must have caught on something when we ran inside.
何の話？
What are you talking about?
いや、上着の肩口が破れかけていた。
Just a little tear in my coat.
岡部ってドジっ子だったの？
Is clumsiness one of your character traits?
俺はマッドサイエンティスト属性であってドジっ子属性など持っていない。
Don't be ridiculous. I'm a mad scientist. I bear them because of insanity, not clumsiness. It seems like forever since I talked to Carissa as Ho in Kyoma.
はいはい。
Yeah, yeah.
Carissa suddenly holds out her hand.
ほら、貸しなさいよ。
Give it here.
何？
What?
ちょうどソーイングセット持ってるから縫ってやると言っている。
I happen to have a sewing kit with me. I'll stitch it up for you.
In the dark? Has she got that glow-in-the-dark needle and thread or something? You try threading a needle when it's bright daylight. It's almost impossible as it is. In the dark? Even the ultimate cosplayer would struggle to do that.
ソーイングセットだと？お前が？
A sewing kit? You?
悪いか？
Something wrong with that?
I hand over my coat as asked.
実験大好きっ子のくせにそんな家庭的なもの
Oh.
を？
Welcome back to the 1950s and the smooth, chauvinistic sound of Okabe Rinsero. You're an experiment-loving girl. You're not supposed to be domestic.
実験大好きっ子であると同時に家庭的な女の子かもしれないじゃない。
Can I be a domestic experiment-loving girl?
家庭的な女の子なのか？
You? Domestic?
相対的に見れば家庭的かもね。と言っても日本の女子高生の家庭的女の子指数がどれくらいか知らないけど。
Relatively, maybe. Well, actually, I don't know the domesticity index for Japanese high school girls these days.
There's an index for that? First I've heard of it. Karisu skillfully threads the needle despite the darkness. Yeah, I don't know how. That's a mystery science can't explain.
濡れてるから針が通りにくいの。
It's wet, so it's kinda hard to thread.
本当に偶然持っていたのか？
Did you really just happen to have that on you?
しつこい。そんなに私がソーイングセット持ってたら悪いの？
Get over it already. Is it really so wrong for me to have a sewing kit?
悪いとは言っていないが、まるで狙ったかのようだったからな。
It's not wrong. It just seems like you planned for this.
つまり、あんたが服を破ってしまうのを見越してあらかじめ用意していたって言ってもらいたいんですね。わかります。
So you're saying I brought it with me because I somehow knew your coat was going to get ripped? Uh-huh. Ridiculous.
それと勘違いしないでほしいんだけど、別に好きで縫ってあげてるわけじゃないんだからね。
And before you get the wrong idea, I'm not fixing your coat because I want to or anything, okay?
出たな、ツンデレセリフ。
Nice Sunday line.
茶化すな。あんたが偶然服を破って、私は偶然ソーイングセットを持っていた。だから縫ってあげている。それだけ。
Don't mind me. You just happen to tear your clothes, and I just happen to have a sewing kit handy when you did. It's coincidence, that's all.
偶然ね。
Coincidence.
まさかお前タイムリープしているということはないよな。
Hey, you didn't time leap, did you?
つまりあんたが服を破ってしまったからタイムリープして事前にソーイングセットを用意したって言ってもらいたいんですね。わかります。
So now you're saying that I went back in time for the sole purpose of preparing your stupid lab coat. Uh-huh.
そんなわけあるか、そんなわけあるか。大事なことなので2回言いました。Understand?
Ridiculous! Ridiculous! There! It's so important I said it twice. Comprendes?
確かに。わざわざタイムリープして対策を練るならば、ソーイングセットではなくタオルを用意しておくのが先だからな。
You're right. If you had time leaped, you would have brought a towel, not a sewing kit.
何それ、皮肉？文句ばっかり。
What's that? Sarcasm? All you do is complain.
After working for a while, Karisu cuts the string with her teeth, then hands me back my coat.
ほら、
Here.
ありがとう。
Thanks.
出来については暗くて確認できないけど、
By the way, it was dark, so I couldn't really see.
もし仮に出来が悪くても私の腕のせいじゃない。この暗さのせいよ、きっと。
If it turns out bad, it's not my fault. It was dark, that's all.
ちなみに糸の色についても何が出るかお楽しみに。
Oh, and I hope you like the color, because I have no idea which thread I used.
色もランダムなのか。
It's random?
黒か赤かピンク。確率は3分の1。
Black, red, or pink. Those are the three possibilities.
せめてピンクが出ないように祈ろう。
Let's just hope it's not pink. There's worse colours than pink. It could have been brown. Ugh. Oh, well, comprende is with the S is silent. Silent letters, especially in foreign languages, are always hard to know if you don't know what they are. And I didn't know that. Thank you for the correction, Queen. I needed that.
Achoo!
寒いか。
Cold?
まあね。
I guess.
俺の上着を羽織るか。
Take my coat.
それだって濡れてるでしょ。
But it's wet.
まあ、そうだが。
Well, yeah, but... Silence again. The words flow so naturally it's just harmless banter, but 1 second of silence, and suddenly we have nothing to say. It must be because of what happened yesterday. I'm so desperate to avoid the topic that nothing seems safe. I know I need to say something, but what?
結論は出た。
Have you made your decision yet?
Her voice is barely a whisper, but I can hear her clearly in the silence of the empty stairwell. I look at Karisu. She's hugging her knees to her chest, presumably against the cold. My decision. I know what she means. That's why I can't answer.
まだ悩んでるの？
You still haven't made up your mind.
あんたってマユリのこと好きなんでしょ？
You like Mayuri, don't you?
何？
What? Where did that come from? Karisu keeps staring into the darkness.
ただの錯覚かもしれないけど、私の心の中に 奇妙な記憶というかデジャブみたいなものがある。
It's probably just my imagination, but lately I've been seeing things, like a strange sort of deja vu.
そこではあんたはマユリを助けようと必死になってて、一人で傷つきながらそれでも前に突き進もうとしてるんだ。
In these visions, you're fighting to save Mayuri all by yourself. You never give up, no matter how much it hurts. Kurisu too?
そんな岡部が私に相談をしてきて、そのひたむきに頑張ってる姿を見て、私も力になってあげたいと思ったり。
Then you come to me for help. You're so desperate, so earnest, that I just have to do what I can.
別にあんたを助けたいって思ったわけじゃないからな。私はあくまでマユリを助けたいだけであって。
Not that I'm doing it for you, okay? I just want to save Mayuri, that's all.
とにかく私にはなぜかそんな錯覚が記憶のように残ってる。
Anyway, these images are stuck in my head, like memories.
So Carisu's the same. She still has faint memories from previous world lines.
自己分析してみたけど、夢で見たものを現実と思い込んでるのか、単なる願望か、それぐらいの結論しか出なかった。
I tried self-analysis. Maybe I'm mistaking dreams for reality, projecting my hopes and fantasies. I don't know.
ただこれだけははっきりしてる。
But there's one thing I do know.
あんたはマユリを助けるべきなの。
You have to save Mayuri.
怖くないのか。
Aren't you afraid?
To save Mayuri, I must undo the current timeline. If I do that, Carissa will die.
なんだか廃墟に迷い込んだみたい。
You know, it kind of feels like we're trapped in an ancient ruin.
Carissa suddenly changes the subject. She looks around the dark, empty stairwell.
まるで世界中の電源が切られて、
Like the world ended,
私たちだけ取り残されたみたい。
and we're the only two people left.
ふと思うんだ。
I've been thinking,
もしあんたがベータ世界線に行ったとする。みんなも一斉にそっちに移動するとしたら、
say you go to the beta world line, and everyone else goes with you.
私だけは移動できない。私だけが取り残される。
What if I can't go with you? What if I'm the only one left behind?
そしたら世界中がこの場所みたいになっちゃうのかな。
Would the entire world become like this place?
所詮これも仮説の一つだけど。
It's just a theory, but I can't help but wonder.
俺は
I need to say it.
お前も救う。マユリだけじゃなくてお前も。
I'll save you. Not just Mayuri, but...
できもしないこと言わなくていい。
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Carissa cuts me off sharply, then buries her face in her knees.
怖くないかってさっき聞いた。
You asked me if I wasn't afraid.
怖いに決まってるでしょ。
Of course I'm afraid.
自分が消えるかもしれない。自分だけが取り残されるかもしれない。
Maybe I'll disappear. Maybe I'll be left behind all alone.
あるいはあんただけがこの世界線からいなくなるかもしれない。
Or maybe only you will disappear, and everything will stay the same.
誰もあんたがいなくなったことを認識してない世界がずっと続いていて、私は何事もなかったかのようにアメリカに帰るかもしれない。
The world will continue, and nobody will ever even know you existed. I'll go back to America as if nothing happened.
かもしれない。かもしれない。か
Maybe,
もしれない。
maybe, maybe.
そんないろんな可能性を考えて 絶望的な気分になる。
I feel hopeless, just thinking about all the possibilities.
でも
But even so,
Karisu raises her head and spears me with her glare.
だからマユリを見殺しにしろなんて言えると思う？
do you think I would tell you to let Mayuri die?
クリス
Karisu,
なんか寒いな。
Jesus, it's cold.
Karisu grabs her own arms. In the darkness, I see her shoulders shaking.
濡れてる服着てる青年。たく
It's because of these wet clothes. This sucks.
ダメだ。こんなの全然論理的じゃない。仮説にすらなってない。全部根拠のない妄想。こんなしょうもない妄想を垂れ流す脳の機能をカットしてやりたい。
Anyway, enough of this nonsense. It's nothing but conjecture, baseless, worthless. I want to cut open my skull and excise the part of my brain that comes up with these delusions.
Now she's talking to herself in an angry tone. And who can blame her? You know, she's berating herself for opening up about her true feelings. For once, she's actually showing that she really does care about other people and isn't just a cold scientist. And she doesn't know how to deal with it. Karisu has always been calm when faced with the unknown. I admired her for that. I thought she was facing this calmly too. But I was wrong. Behind her cool facade, she was struggling to cope with the knowledge that her very existence was in jeopardy. She was fighting that fear all alone, and now it has finally come to the surface. Of course she's afraid. However brilliant she may be, I don't think age comes into this. That sentence did not need the age or anything. It was fine with how brilliant she is. There was no need to bring age into it. Karisu abruptly stands up. I realise that I no longer hear the sound of rain pounding on the roof.
聞いて、岡部。
Listen, Okabe.
両方救うのは無理。そうでしょ。
You can't save both of us, correct?
どうあがいたって、確率は2分の1なの。
No matter how you struggle, it's one or the other.
だが
But
だがじゃない。私の結論は変わらない。
no buts. My answer won't change.
マユリを助けて。
Save Mayuri.
I hear the pain in her voice, and also the resolve. Karisu has made up her mind. I look away and clench my fists. My nails dig into the palms of my hands.
そう簡単に諦めろっていうのか。お前を見捨てろっていうのか。
Are you telling me to give up? To abandon you?
そんなのできるはずがないだろう。
I could never do that!
できるかできないかじゃない。あんたをやらなくちゃいけない。それしか道はない。
You can and you must. There's no other way.
ダメだ。お前は俺たちの大切な仲間だ。俺はお前も見捨てない。
No, you're our friend. I won't abandon you.
岡部
Okabe.
Karisu drops to her knees and grabs me by the collar. I gasp for breath as she stares into my eyes. Her eyes are hard and stern. It's always like this when she scolds me. Always the same glare.
他に解決策があるの？ないんでしょ。
Is there another solution? There isn't, is there?
私はマユリを犠牲にしてまで生きていたくない。
I don't want to live if it means sacrificing Mayuri.
もしマユリを助けなかったら、あんたを一生恨むから。
If you don't save her, I'll never forgive you.
This can't be happening! I hate this choice with no right answer! I hate the universe for being so cruel! And most of all, I hate myself for forcing Karisu to speak these words when she's not the one with the most to lose! No, she is the one with the most to lose. I fluffed that line terribly. Tears well up in my eyes, but I bite my lip and hold them back. Is there really no other way? I can't bear it. I look straight back at Karisu as she holds me by the collar. And tightly embrace her slender body. Her clothes are still wet from the rain, but all I feel is warmth radiating from the core of her being.
お前はここにいるのに
But you're right here!
こんなのあんまりだ
Why does it have to be this way? Look at me.
Tension drains from her back and her hands. She gives her whole body to my embrace.
ありがとう。私のためにそこまで苦しんでくれて。
Thank you. I know you're hurting for me.
でももう十分。私は大丈夫だから。あとはマユリのことだけ考えて。
But you've done enough. I'm fine. So just think about Mayuri, okay?
Despite her fear, Kurisu has made her choice. It's time for me to do the same. I need to decide, here and now. In which case, we need another save on a slot which is... Looking at the time, that's 41 hours. That's the end of the chapter, so in which case I want to use... I'll use this one, 39 hours. The future of the world. Which friend to let die? Holding Kurisu tightly, I whisper into her ear.
すまない
I'm sorry. A meaningless apology.
俺はマユリだけはどうしても救いたいから
I want to save Mayuri. More than anything.
These words are a death sentence, but I force myself to speak them. It takes every ounce of willpower I possess.
お前を助けられない
I can't save you. I know.
When I finish, I feel as if a great weight has left my shoulders, and at the same time, as if 1,000 needles are stabbing into my heart. Potentially a cliched simile there, but one that's appropriate given the circumstances so far. Kurisu weakly returns my embrace. Then she lets go and stands up.
さてと。
Well then,
There's already a look of relief on her face.
先に帰る。
I'm heading back.
帰るってどこへ
Back? Where? To America?
ラボに決まってるでしょ。服を乾かさないと。シャワーも浴びたいし。
The lab, of course. I need to dry my clothes. I want to take a shower too.
In that case, we should go back together. But before I can suggest it, Kurisu beats me to the punch, as if she read my mind.
あんたはそこでずぶ濡れのまましばらく待ってて。
You stay here and soak for a while.
わかった？
Understand? We can't go back together. That's her verdict.
分かった
Understood. I hang my head and shut my eyes. Kurisu's footsteps fade into the distance. I wrap my arms around my body. Even though it's summer and sweltering hot, I can't stop my body from shaking. I realise that part of me is relieved that Kurisu left alone. At least I won't have to face her again. To look upon the face of the girl I chose to die. I'm a coward. My self-loathing echoes in the darkness. I wait about 2 hours before returning to the lab. Kurisu is gone when I get there. Quick save over the newest chat time in this one, 41, in chapter 7. Because there's a message. You've got mail, and it's from Kurisu.
Cease to inquire what the future has in store, and take as a gift whatever the day brings forth. Horace, Italian philosopher. I'm going back to my hotel. Do what needs to be done. Good night.
My interpretation was halfway between, Queen. It wasn't quite a mad scientist laugh, and it wasn't quite a cry either. It was an attempt at both. If it didn't work, then that kind of shows my flaws at doing it live. I'm doing it anytime, to be honest. All she left is a single email. I sit down on the sofa. While drying my hair with a towel, I look towards the PC in the corner of the room. It's already connected to the IBM 5100, ready for Daru to start hacking. I already got in touch with him. The hacking starts tomorrow at noon. I drove myself even further into a corner by telling that to Daru. Now I can't turn back, no matter how much I want to. I chose Mayuri. I will let Kurisu die. Showering didn't soften the retching pain in my heart. In truth, I'm just riding on Kurisu's resolve. Mine is still a flimsy thing. I can't help but wonder, is this really okay? Really?
Anyone here?
Mayuri opens the door and enters. For a moment after she catches sight of me, she looks ready to burst into tears. But that quickly gives way to a smile.
It's Ocarine!
どうした
What's up?
なんとなく来てみたの。
Oh, nothing. I just decided to stop by.
I swallow hard. Maybe I should explain the situation to Mayuri. But I know she'll feel guilty if I tell her. Mayuri doesn't need to know. Everything will be okay as long as we crack CERN's database and reach the beta wordline.
最近ね、オカリンと話す時間、ちょっと減っちゃった。
You know, I haven't talked much with Ocarine lately.
でもね、オカリンの重荷にはなりたくないんだ。
But you know, I don't want to be a burden on Ocarine.
Either this chapter's shorter than the rest or something else is going to happen. Because we've only just passed the 2-hour mark and it seems like it's getting towards a conclusion. Can I really let it end like this? Shouldn't I tell her what Kurisu is sacrificing for her sake?
もしかしてシャワー浴びてたの？
Did you take a shower?
Mayuri moves behind the sofa, grabs the bath towel on my head and starts rubbing my hair dry.
オカリン、シャンプーのいい匂いがするね。
You smell good, like shampoo.
I didn't mind the towel so much, but then she buries her nose into my hair and starts sniffing.
やめんか
Stop that! I jerk my head away. Mayuri goes back to drying my hair.
今日ね、コミマ行かなかったよ。
You know, I didn't go to Kamima today.
なぜだ
Huh? Why?
オカリンのこと気になっちゃったのです。
Yep, I get the feeling she's returned the favour here and has followed him after he followed her to the cemetery.
I was thinking about Ocarine.
オカリンの辛そうな顔を思い出したらね、コミマを楽しんでなんかいられないなって。
When I got to Ariake, I remembered how sad you looked, and then I thought, I shouldn't be having fun at Kamima.
だから有明まで行ったけど参加せずに帰ってきたの。
So I turned around and came all the way back.
そうか。悪かったな。心配かけて。
Oh, sorry for making you worry. Should I tell her? Or should I keep her in the dark? Are we at a decision moment here, I wonder? Because if we are, I really want to save it over another one, if possible, but I don't know which one to save it over. Well, if I'm going for the other endings, I can do it on New Game Plus. I'm jumping in with both feet. I'm not doing this anymore.
最近ね、オカリンと話す時間ちょっと減っちゃった。
You know, I haven't talked much with Okabe lately.
だからね、マユシーは寂しくなっちゃったのかもしれないね。
Maybe Mayushi's getting a little lonely.
マユリ、もし俺がお前に隠し事をしてるって言ったらどう思う？
Mayuri, how would you feel if I said I was keeping a secret from you?
実はオカリンとクリスチャンは付き合っていますっていうびっくりなこと？
You mean like Okabe and Chris-chan are actually dating?
なぜそうなる？
Where did that come from?
でもね、オカリンとクリスチャンはとっても仲がいいでしょ。二人はお似合いだと思うな。
Okabe and Chris-chan get along really well, right? I think you two are meant for each other.
そんな話をしているんじゃないんだ。
No, it's nothing like that.
Oh, okay.
全部話してほしいなんて思ってないよ。
You don't have to tell me everything if you don't want to.
人質だからね。どっちかっていうと何にも教えてもらえないのが普通だもん。
Besides, it's normal to keep secrets from your hostage.
そんな話をしているんじゃないんだ。
This isn't the time for that. Mayuri's hand leaves my head. I look over my shoulder in a panic, thinking she wandered off again. She's there. I grab her hand, perhaps more forcefully than I meant to.
マユシーはオカリンの重荷にはなりたくないよ。
Mayushi doesn't want to be a burden.
Again.
だからオカリンが言ってくれるまで待つの。
So I'll wait until Okarin's ready to tell me.
昨日もそう言ったよ。
Just like I said yesterday, remember?
一生言わないかもしれないぞ。
And if I decide to never tell you?
それはね、とっても気になっちゃうけど、でもしょうがないかな。
Well, I'd be curious. Really curious. But if that's what you want...
その隠していることがお前に関係していることでも。
Even if my secret involves you?
マユシーに？
Mayushi?
俺はお前を傷つけたくなくて話さないでいるんだ。
I haven't told you because I don't want to hurt you.
そのせいでオカリンは辛い顔してるのかな。
Is that why Okarin looks so sad all the time?
だったらね、話してほしいな。
Then I do want to know.
オカリンが辛そうなの見たくないもん。
I don't like it when Okarin's sad.
それでお前は傷ついてもいいって言うのか。
Even if it means you might get hurt? Mayuri replies, with a gentle smile.
Yeah.
She nods without any hesitation. Her smile is so sincere, it strikes me speechless.
昨日もさっきも言ったよ。マユシーはオカリンの重荷になりたくないって。
Mayushi doesn't want to be a burden.
あのね、 マユシーがおばあちゃんのことで苦しかった時、オカリンはマユシーを人質にしてくれたでしょ。
When Mayushi was sad because of what happened to Granny, Okabe took Mayushi hostage, remember?
だからね、もしオカリンが苦しい時はマユシーが力になってあげたいってずっと思ってたんだよ。
That's why Mayushi always thought that whenever Okabe's sad, she could lend her strength to him, you know?
マユシーなんかじゃちっとも役に立たないかもしれないけど、
Mayushi might not be useful though.
Useful. Suddenly, I remember. Mayuri is going to die tomorrow. I've been through it once before. She died protecting me, and her last words were,
やっとマユシーはオカリンの
Finally, Mayushi was
役に立てたよ。
useful to Okabe.
so this is what she meant.
だからね、これ以上辛い顔しないでほしいな。
I don't want to see you hurting.
わかった。
Very well. If that's how she feels, I'll tell her everything. I let go of Mayuri's hand and pat the sofa beside me.
ここに座るんだ。
Take a seat. Mayuri does as she's told.
おやつ持ってきていい？
Can I get some snacks?
お前は空気が読めないな。
This is serious, remember?
そうだね。
Oh, right.
Mayuri sits up straight with her hands folded in her lap.
じゃあどうぞ。
Okay, ready.
これから話すことは全部事実だ。お前が見た夢とも関係している。
Everything I'm about to tell you is true. It's related to those dreams you had.
そして俺はこの後お前のために仲間を犠牲にするつもりだ。
I plan to sacrifice one of our friends for your sake.
オカリン。
Eh? Okabe?
Anxiety clouds Mayuri's face, but I ignore it and take her chin in my fingers. A switch has already flipped inside of me.
せいぜい後悔するがいい。この俺、狂気のマッドサイエンティストである法王院京馬が行ってきた恐るべき所業の数々を聞いてな。
I mean, didn't he just say, it's serious, remember? Yeah, this is serious, remember? And then he comes out with this shit. You will soon regret your curiosity, my dear, for the deeds of the great Horin Kiyoma are many and terrible. And so I begin, speaking as the mad scientist whose foolish experiments brought everything to ruin. I start with the first raid on the lab. I tell Mayuri how Moeka killed her. Next I tell her about Suzuha and Faris, about Lukako, Moeka, FB and Nai. I describe their fates in every detail. And finally, I tell her about Kurisu.
すなわちマキセ・クリスを生贄として俺は新たなる世界へと旅立つのだ。
By sacrificing Makise Kurisu, I will embark upon a journey to a glorious new world! There was a lot to explain, and Mayuri kept asking questions, desperate to understand the strange concepts I was throwing at her. You think it's a defense mechanism, Queen, but it's just like, I don't know, it just makes me... The whole point of this chapter so far has been him realising he's had to face you know, what he's doing is has to face up to his decisions. It just undermines it, in my opinion. Compare it to the scene with Kurisu, where he was being genuinely serious and was saying, ignore my ego and everything else. It just undermines the whole chapter, in my opinion. It completely undermines it. Thanks to that, the conversation went longer than expected. It's already getting late.
以上がこの俺法院京馬が考えた壮大なる計画、その名もメイドインヘブンである。
And that is the plan, most grand and devious of the insane mad scientist, Horin Kyoma! I call it Made in Heaven! Finally, it's over. Mayuri says nothing. She's staring at her hands, which are clenched into tiny, trembling fists. We've gone into midnight, it's the 17th. That's the day she dies. She looks ready to cry any second.
なぜそんな顔をしている？
What's the matter? Mayuri shakes her head and bites her lip.
オカリンもクリスちゃんも苦しんでたんだね。
The whole time, you and Christian were hurting.
It might be fun to enact, Queen, but it's still annoying in terms of the narrative for that chapter. It just kind of ruins the narrative, in my opinion.
なのにマユシーはのんきにコスを作ってた。
Mayushi was making costumes like nothing was wrong.
こんなのバカみたいだよ。
I feel so stupid.
マユシーは何にも知らなかった。
I didn't know anything.
お前が責任を感じる必要はないのだ。すべてはこの俺による計画なのだからな。
Of course you didn't! That's how I planned it!
幻滅したか、マユリ。だが俺は仲間を平気で犠牲にできる男。故にお前がベータ世界線に行きたくないと言ってもそれを聞き入れるつもりはない。
Are you disappointed in me, Mayuri? Sorry, but this is who I am. I will do anything, sacrifice anyone to accomplish my goals. Whether you like it or not, you're coming with me to the Beta Wordline.
お前には俺の人質として絶対に最後まで付き合ってもらうぞ。
You are my hostage, and you have no say in the matter.
世界に訪れる混沌。これこそがシュタインズゲートの選択なのだ。
Let chaos descend upon the world. That is the choice of Steins Gate. Mayuri ignores my performance. She gets to her feet and lurches towards the door. I quickly grab her by the wrist.
おい、どこ行く？
Where are you going?
クリスちゃんに会いに行かなきゃ。
I need to see Christian.
ねえオカリン、クリスちゃんに会いたいよ。
Please, Okarin. I have to talk to her.
There's no way I can refuse Mayuri's request. I contacted Kurisu. We arranged to meet on the UPX overpass at 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 AM. I remember being online at that time. Wasn't as dark as this though, was it? Yep, start of Fractal Androgynous. I'll put it there. We're trying to keep saves for the other chapters so I can go back for the alternate endings. But if I run out of slots, there's not much I can do about it. I contacted Kurisu. Oh, we arranged to meet on the UPX overpass at 4:30 in the morning. I've already read that line. That would have been a punishment part if we had that active, but we don't. I was wondering why she wanted to meet so early. But I understand once I see her. She's dragging a large suitcase.
お見送りご苦労。
Thanks for coming to see me off.
She faces us with a smile.
そのスーツケース まさか
Does that suitcase mean what I think it does?
ああ、そういうことよ。
Hmm? Oh, yeah, it does.
帰るのかアメリカに
You're going back to America? Kurisu nods.
もともと8月の頭には帰る予定だったんだけど、どっかのマッドサイエンティストに捕まって予定より長めの滞在になっちゃった。
I was supposed to go back at the beginning of the month, but then I ran into a certain mad scientist and ended up staying longer than I planned.
もう私が手伝えることもないだろうし、後腐れなくって意味でもいいでしょ。
There's nothing else I can help you with anyway, and I don't want to be a liability. Is she doing this for me? Or is she trying to outrun her fear?
It's not my right to stop her. Even if I did, it wouldn't change anything. Today, as planned, I will crack CERN's database and move to the beta world line. I've made my decision. Mayuri is next to me, standing still with her head hung.
マユリ、どうしたの？具合悪いの？
What's wrong, Mayuri? Are you feeling sick?
I gently nudge her back.
ほらマユリ
Come on, Mayuri. She takes one step, pauses for a second, then leaps on Kurisu with a cry.
クリスチ
Christian!
どうしたの？いきなり。
What? What's going on?
ャン、マユシーはね、クリスチャンがいなくなるの。やだよ。
Mayushi doesn't want Christian to disappear.
Kurisu hears the desperate plea in Mayuri's voice. She gives me a look that asks, "Did you tell her?" I silently nod.
マユシーのためなんかに消えたりしないで。
You can't disappear. Not for Mayushi, okay?
マユリお前
Mayuri,
マユシーだってクリスチャンを犠牲にしてまで生きていたくないよ。
Mayushi doesn't want to live if Christian has to die.
and of course, because Mayushi remembered her own deaths from the alternate timelines, that suggests she'd remember the sacrifice being made for it in the beta world line. Though to be fair, the memories are all from the alpha world line. Who knows if they'll transmogrify to the beta world line? Yes, that is a reference to my Persona 3 FES stream, by the way. I expected Mayuri might say that. It's absolutely essential that I remain firm. I feel bad for Kurisu, but it needs to be said.
それは許されない俺はマユリを選んだのだマユリには救われる義務があるのだ
Wow. What a dickish thing to say. This is the way it has to be. I chose you, Mayuri. You have an obligation to live. Yeah, because you fucking own her, don't you, you asshole? Your whole hostage shtick isn't actually real. Pain stabs through my heart. These words are reprehensible. Oh, well, at least he owns it.
クリスはお前のために命を投げ出すという契約をこの俺と交わしたそれを保護にすれば最悪がこの地を襲うだろ
Kurisu and I made a pact. She agreed to trade her life for yours. If that sacred covenant is broken, this world is doomed. I clench my fist tight to suppress my self-loathing.
クリスの思いを無駄にするなマユリ
Don't put Kurisu's fears to waste! Mayuri!
でも
But...
ありがとう、マユリ。
Thank you, Mayuri.
Kurisu wraps her arms around Mayuri's back, returning the hug.
でも私はもう自分の中で結論を出したし、納得もしてるから。
But this was my decision too. I'm okay with it. Really.
知ってる？あんたって岡部にものすごい愛されてる。
Okabe loves you, you know. What?
何を言い出すのだ。
What are you saying?
事実でしょ。
It's true, isn't it? She gives me a mischievous smile.
だからマユリが死んだら岡部はすごく悲しむ。岡部にそんな思いさせたくないでしょ。
It would make him really sad if you died. You don't want him to be sad, do you?
でもクリスチャンがいなくなったらマユシーは悲しいよ。
But if Christian goes away, it'll make Mayushi sad.
そうね。会えなくなると寂しいかな。
Yeah, I know. It makes me sad too.
でもどうせ私は生きてたってアメリカに帰るつもりだったわけだし。
But this was going to happen eventually. I had to go back to America sooner or later.
だから別の世界線に行っても私はアメリカにいるものだと思えばそう大した違いはない。
So even if you move to another world line, just think of me as being in America. It's practically the same thing.
そういう問題じゃないもん。
I know.
クリスチャンが消えちゃうのが嫌なんだもん。
I know where it's Chris. So you gotta go. You watch the rest later. That's fine. So I don't know where. It depends how long the chapter is. We'll find out. I'm planning on literally ending when this chapter ends, but something tells me it's still too short. Something's bound to happen. It's getting wrapped up too neatly in a bow. Unless this really is a short chapter, we will see.
That's not the problem. I don't want Christian to disappear.
ねえ、やめよう。クリスチャンが消えることないよ。
Let's stop this, okay? Don't make Christian disappear.
Kurisu separates from Mayuri and gazes straight into her face.
これ以上私や岡部を困らせたらダメ。
You have to listen to us now, Mayuri.
She uses a gentle tone, as if speaking to a child. Then she lightly bumps Mayuri on the head.
岡部、もうマユリの手を離しちゃダメよ。
Okabe, don't ever let go of her again.
分かってる。
I know.
それじゃあ私は行くから。
Well, I'm off.
もう二度と岡部の顔見なくて済むと思うとせいせいするわ。
Thank God I'll never have to see your silly face again.
She punctuates her insult with a smile. She's so cheerful now. A far cry from the shivering girl in the dark. To see her like this breaks my heart. Sorry. I repeat the words in my heart again and again, begging for forgiveness. Kurisu turns to go.
クリスチャン、行かないで。行かないでよ。
Don't go! Christian! Please, don't go!
ついてこないで。
Don't follow me!
She shouts over her shoulder. Mayuri freezes.
同情なんてしないで。惨めになるだけだから。
I don't want pity. It'll only make it worse.
これは私が決めたことなの。マユリに何を言われたってもう揺るがない。
This is my decision. Nothing you say will change my mind.
Yeah, I'm not bothering to voice out those. There's no need.
さよなら。
Goodbye.
マユリ、約束よ。あんたは幸せになりなさい。
Promise me, Mayuri. Promise me you'll find happiness.
With that, Kurisu walks away. Early morning Akihabara, well before sunrise. The trains are just starting to run. She disappears into the station, dragging her suitcase behind her, alone. Mayuri falls to her knees, her face streaked with tears. As I approach, I hear her voice.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
お前が謝る必要はない。すべてはこの俺の決断だ。
You have nothing to apologize for. This was my decision, and mine alone.
クリスには消えてもらう。俺はクリスを助けない。
Carissa will disappear. For I chose not to save her.
そして世界には俺が望む混沌が訪れるのだ。
I chose to bring chaos to the world.
I'm gonna see if he owns this, because if he doesn't, he's a prick.
俺が許せないか、マユリ。ならば恨めばいい。
You can't forgive me, can you, Mayuri? Then hate me.
だがそれでもお前には最後まで付き合ってもらう。
But even then, you're staying with me to the end.
俺は
I have chosen.
俺はお前を救うためにクリスを見殺しにする。
To save you, I will let Karisu die.
だからお前がどれだけ俺を恨もうと、俺の意見に反対しようと、
So hate me, loathe me, curse my name.
もう後戻りするつもりはない。
But I will not turn back.
俺の野望は誰にも止められない。
Nobody can stop me now. Mayuri slowly stands up. Then she buries her face into my chest, just like she did to Karisu.
おかり
Oh, Karine.
おかりの本当の気持ち聞きたいよ。
Tell me how you really feel.
And Avian, I was thinking the same thing. She might say, you can't save her, but I can. I was thinking that, because again, the chapter seems to be ending too early for me. It seems like something's else is gonna happen. How I really feel? Mayuri looks straight up into my eyes.
おかりんが心の中で思ってることは素直な言葉で聞きたいよ。
I want to know what's in your heart. Your honest feelings.
マユシーはね、もう重荷になりたくないから。
Mayushi doesn't want to be a burden anymore.
なってねえよ。なってるわけないだろう。
You're not a burden! How can you think that?
これは俺のエゴだ。俺がお前を助けたいだけだ。お前を失いたくないだけだ。
This is about me! Because I want to save you! Because I can't bear to lose you!
ありがとう、おかり。ありがとう。
Yeah. Thank you, Ocarine. Thank you.
Mayuri tries her hardest to smile through her tears, and then, once again, she buries her face into my chest.
いつも見てた怖い夢も
I've been having scary dreams lately.
そこに出てくるかっこいいおかりんも
In those dreams, you always try to save me.
と夢なんかじゃなかったんだね。
They weren't dreams, were they?
ずっとマユシーを助けようとしてくれてたんだね。
You were fighting to save Mayushi, weren't you?
ねえ、 ね、オカリンのこと
Okabe, you know,
大好きだよ。
Mayuri loves you.
オカリンがいてくれるからマユシーは毎日笑っていられるんだよ。
Mayuri can smile every day because you're there for me.
これからもずっと一緒にいていい？
Can we be together from now on, too?
当たり前だ。
Of course. I answer Mayuri with my embrace.
そんなの当たり前だろ
How can you ask that?
う。一緒にいてくれないと俺が嫌だ。
I don't want to be apart from you either. Yeah,
あのね、マユシーは幸せになるよ。
Mayuri will find happiness.
クリスチャンと約束したから。
Just like I promised Christian. Yeah.
幸せにしてください。
Let's be happy together.
あ
We will.
離さないでください。
Never let go of me.
あ
I won't.
ずっと大好きでいさせてください。
Let me love you forever.
Of course. Yeah, that's all too. The radiance of the rising sun pours out between the buildings. Daybreak. As the sky grows brighter, we remain in our embrace, as if to reassure each other that we are still here. Yeah, this is all too
それでは
smooth.
これよりオペレーションベルダンディ最終フェーズを開始する。
Quick save. I'm going to use the same one because I didn't make any decisions in that chapter. And that's the thing, that's another thing that's bothered me. I've not had any decisions to make at all. A lot of this chapter's bothered me. The time has come. We will now commence the final phase of Operation Vathandi. Mayuri and Daru turn to me and nod. Today is the last day of Kamimar. Daru wanted to attend, of course, but a little begging convinced him to prioritise his operation. I take a look around the lab. These 20 days have seen constant change. It's incredible to think at one point this lab had a whole 8 members, and now we're back to 3. The memories we made, the experiences we shared. To save Mayuri, I will undo them all. There is sorrow in me, a guilt. I engraved them deep inside my heart. I will never forget. I mustn't forget these long yet short summer days. But still, I choose to erase our memories. I choose to return everything to normal. Scissorhar's mission is irrelevant. I'm not doing this for the future. As long as Mayuri lives, nothing else matters.
ダル始めてくれ。
Daru, you may begin.
いいんだな。
You sure? Yeah.
オキドキ。
Okie dokie! Daru starts typing on the IBM 5100. It's already connected to its main computer. This will get us into CERN's database, where they keep the data they mine with Echelon. There we will locate the first D-mail I sent on the July 28th and erase all trace of its existence. With this, I can reach the beta world line. This is so not going to work. At last, Mayuri will be safe. I look at Mayuri. She's on the couch, sitting straight as a ramrod, with her grandmother's pocket watch pressed to her ear. She stays still, her eyes closed. Whenever Mayuri wants to calm down, she listens to the sound of that pocket watch. Ever since we parted with Kurisu, Mayuri has said nothing about my choice. I guess she's come to terms with it, in her own way. The actual work, I've left to Daru, no problem there. While waiting for him to finish, I walk into the development room. In the centre of the room is the time leak machine. I squat down and brush my fingers against the microwave surface. It's cool to the touch. I've made irreplaceable friends because of this thing, and because of this thing, I've hurt them. But I don't want to blame the tool. It's how you use the tool that matters. And I've got to admit, it's saved me more than once. But still, once this is over, I'll destroy the time leap machine. We must never make the same mistakes again. Ocarina, I found it! It's really there! The D-mail I sent. It's there! It sure is, man. Daru points to a string of characters. My name is there, followed by the message I wrote about Kurisu's death. 3 lines total, each 12 characters long. This data led CERN to our doorstep. At FB's instruction, Moeka and the Rounders attacked. If Suzuha is right, then by erasing this data, we will escape from Attractor Field Alpha, where CERN dominates the future. That will take us to Attractor Field Beta, to the Beta world line within its range of convergence, to a future without Mayuri's death. Mayuri is standing next to me, gazing intently at the monitor. She grasps my hand firmly.
Okabe!
It's okay. She looks anxious, so I pat her head to calm her down. Everything's set. One press of the enter key and that data's gone. Daru stands up and gestures to the open seat. I'll leave that honor to you, Ocarina. I sit down and face the keyboard. This time, yeah, I can't bring my phone up. This time it ends. Kurisu's face floats through my mind. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. Goodbye, Kurisu. I slowly raise my right hand and extend my index finger. Victory is at hand! Daru twitches at my cry. With unimaginable brilliance and unwavering conviction, I have defeated our vast and powerful enemy, and now stand triumphant on the field of Ragnarok! I give thanks to the comrades whose sacrifice made this victory possible! One press of this key, and Kurisu will die. I firmly grip my coat at the shoulder, where it has been stitched together with jagged pink thread. The coming world is the world I wish for! I wish for Mayuri to live and Kurisu to die. That is the truth, and I must never forget it. This is the choice of Steins Gate! This is the choice of Okabe Rinsaro. El Sai Koguru! Let the world be reborn! I swing down my finger and strike the enter key. 1.13. We've gone past 1% convergence. After a while, the spinning stops and colour gradually returns to the world. Reading Steiner activated. The world line has changed. I look around the room. Next to me is Daru. Behind me is Mayuri. I reach out to her and she takes my hand with a smile. Everything is where it should be. It looks like nothing has changed at all. I gently touch my coat's shoulder where Kurisu fixed a torn seam. It's gone. My coat isn't torn. The stitches, even having been sewn in the dark, have disappeared. There's no trace of that ridiculous pink thread. I'm going to do another quick save, this time over this one. I stand up and head to the development room. Underneath the table, the time leap machine. No. That's not the time leap machine. That's the phone wave. Name subject to change. The upgrades Kurisu have made are gone. Nothing has changed. This world is exactly the same. In all respects save one. Kurisu was never here. I thought I was prepared for this. But now that I'm face to face with the cruel consequence of my decision, I feel powerless. Defeated. I want to cry.
Okari, どうしたの?
What's wrong, Okabe?
Mayuri runs up and grabs my arm.
なあ、Mayuri。
Say, Mayuri.
何
Yeah?
ラボメンナンバー004は誰だっけ?
Who was Lapmem 004 again? I need to ask, even though I know what the answer will be.
004? オカリン、オカリン。ラボメンはね、オカリンとマヨシーとダルくんの3人しかいないよ。
004? But Ocarine, there's only 3 Lapmems, remember? Ocarine, Mayushi, and Daruken.
The tears come. I crumple to my knees and cover my face with my hands.
そうだな。このラボに4人目のラボメンだった。いなかったよ。
Yeah, right. Our lab doesn't have a 4th member. It never did.
Her existence was rejected by the world.
オカリン、何か悲しいことがあったんだね。
Ocarine, something really sad happened, didn't it?
But the question is, if this has all been reverted and Kurisu was killed, the next question to ask is who killed her? And this has got me thinking. Suzuha came back on the other world line to meet her father and get the IBN 5100. What if on the Alpha timeline she came back as an assassin to take out Kurisu and therefore make certain the time leap machine and from it the time machine never came back? What if my best girl has suddenly become an antagonist? Mayuri rubs my back.
マユシーはね、オカリンの力になってあげたいよ。
Mayushi is here for you, Ocarine.
I embrace Mayuri. I stifle my voice and cry.
オカリン、泣かないで。
Ocarine, don't cry.
Mayuriはどこにも行かないでくれ。ずっとそばにいてくれ。頼むよ。
Please don't leave me, Mayuri. Please, stay by my side. Forever.
Mayuri tenderly strokes my head.
マユシーはずっと一緒だよ。
Mayushi will always be with you.
これまでみたいにずっと。
Always. Just like this.
All trace of Kurisu's existence has vanished. This proves that I have returned to my original world line. This is the world I struggled to reach. The world Suzuha travelled through time to create. A world where the future is free. Nothing has changed. And yet, this is my utopia. Well, it appears that's an ending. I wasn't expecting that. it turns out we've got to an ending. All in Japanese. Now I say, Avian, you wondered the same thing. Well, it seems that based on the fact we've got the credits rolling, we might not ever find out. Now, the fact that it's ended like that, I'm sorry, but there's no way that's the ending. I think, much like with Song of Memories, there are alternate endings which require answers. And kind of similar to that game, where essentially hanging around with certain characters and making certain choices got you to their true ending. I think the same thing is true here, but based off the phone. I think literally whatever answer you give to one of the messages, or the phone calls, or whatever, is going to be the one that tells us where it is. So, while I could mark this as finale, I don't think it's right to mark it finale. And also I think it's interesting they haven't translated the credits into English. All the credits here are in Japanese kanji, which again is unheard of. And it makes me wonder if again there's more to this. I definitely think that had I answered Kurisu's messages a certain way in that chapter, he would have chosen to save Kurisu instead of Mayuri and stay on the beta line. So I get the feeling there's a true ending buried somewhere in here. And I'm going to let this play out because I'm wondering if it's going to access like a flowchart, kind of like what happened with Song of Memories. If that's the case, we'll know. Here we go. The night of the 17th passed. The night of the 18th passed, and Mayuri still didn't die. I kept a close watch for 3 days since then. There have been no attacks, no accidents, no sign that anything might happen. That was enough to convince me that Mayuri is safe. Together with Daru, I destroyed the phone wave and the IBN 5100. Although we've lost the ability to send emails, that is a small price to pay to stay below CERN's radar. Tenoji is downstairs in the Brawn Tube workshop, watching TV on the 42-inch CRT, like always. When I went to check out Radicam, I found it open for business as usual. A search of the internet turned up no mention of a satellite crash. Instead, I found a small article in the local section of a newspaper dated July 28th. It was a report on Kurisu's murder. There was no follow-up. The culprit is still at large. According to Daru, the police questioned me several times. It was I who discovered the body, after all. Of course, I don't remember any of that. At any rate, Mayuri is still alive. I've accomplished what I set out to do. It's over.
Okabe!
I'm going to do a quick save here, actually. I didn't have to make a decision, so I might as well save it here. So we've got past the first set of credits. Again, didn't feel like an ending to me, that. Mayuri emerges from the ticket gate, waving her hand as she runs my way. She weaves through the gaps between shoppers and maids handing out leaflets, and when she gets to me, she looks at me with puppy dog eyes. Why are you crying? Mayuri doesn't answer me. She just strokes my cheek, gently, silently. She's crying, but she doesn't seem sad. Rather, she seems overcome with emotion.
Okabe and Kate to pick me up. You waited for Mayushi. I'm so happy.
Don't get so happy over every little thing. Mayuri wipes away her tears, making room for her shy, innocent smile.
あのね、マユシーはオカリンの人質から恋人にクラスチェンジしたんだよね。
So Mayuri class changed from hostage to girlfriend, right?
いかにも。
Indeed. I have no idea how to respond to such an embarrassing question. But she's right. Mayuri and I are officially a couple. After these long, painful 20 days, I finally noticed how important Mayuri is to me. Plus, she told me that she loved me.
よかった。夢じゃないんだ。
Thank goodness, it wasn't just a dream.
いいから、さっさとラボに行くぞ。こんな草厚いところに立っていたら日射病で死ぬ。
Let's get going already. I'm gonna die standing in this damn heat. I start walking without waiting for Mayuri's response.
でもね、ラボだってすっごく暑いよ。
But the lab's hot too, isn't it?
扇風機があるだけマシだ。それに喉が渇いた。ドクターペッパーで一服したい。
At least we've got a fan. And besides, I'm thirsty. Gotta get my daily dose of Dr. P. It's Sunday. Despite the heat, I see plenty of shoppers laden with bags enjoying themselves on the streets of Okabe. I suddenly feel a void in my heart. Nothing about this town has changed. Yet it feels like something is missing from my life. No doubt it's the gap that was left by Karisu. But there's no such thing as a perfect future. That is a fantasy that nobody can realise. I mustn't forget. This is the future I wished for, fought for, and won. I have what is most important to me. Mayuri. I should be thankful for that. I am blessed far beyond the common man. I look beside me and realise that Mayuri's not there. I turn around. She's not there either. Mayuri? She's gone. She's always like this. Sometimes she just wanders off. Anxiety seizes my heart. Mayuri promised she would never leave me. This wordline is worthless without her. Mayuri! I shout her name at the top of my lungs. I search for her in the crowd, but it's too thick to see. And I can't bring up my phone. Mayuri!
ここにいるよ。
Over here!
I turn around to see Mayuri running towards me. In her hands is shaved ice. Good call. Shaved ice is lovely. Lovely. Calorific, but lovely.
オカリン、暑いって言ってたでしょ。だからね、一緒に食べようと思って。
You said it was hot, remember? I thought it'd be nice to eat something cold.
驚かせるなよ。
Don't scare me like that. I feel so relieved. I want to embrace that small body of hers, but we're in public, so I stop myself. I take the shaved ice and hold my empty hand out to Mayuri.
捕まっていろ。
Hold my hand.
Okay.
Mayuri takes my hand. Her slender fingers intertwine with mine.
かき氷はラボまでお預けだ。路上で食べたら迷惑だろう。
Let's save the shaved ice for when we get to the lab. It's too hard to eat while walking.
でもね、溶けちゃうんじゃないかな。
But won't it melt?
しょうがないだろう。
If it melts, it melts.
そっか。しょうがないよね。手をつないでたら食べられないもんね。
Oh, well, I guess you're right. We can't eat if we're holding hands anyway.
離さないぞ。俺は絶対に離さないからな。
I won't let go. I won't ever let you go.
マユシーだってね、離さないよ。
Mayuri won't let go either.
Mayuri puts a little more strength into her grip. Love for her fills my heart. Suddenly, Mayuri looks up at Radican.
ねえねえ、オカリン。
Oh, Karine?
あのね、起きているのに夢を見 たことってある？
Is it possible to dream when you're awake?
夢？それは白チュームというやつか。
When you're awake? You mean the daydream?
そういう風に呼ぶの。オカリン物知りだね。
Is that what it's called? You're so smart.
それが誰だかわからないんだけど、マユシーにはとても大切なお友達がいた気がするの。
I don't know who it was, but Mayuri feels like she had a very important friend.
何？
What?
その大切なお友達のことを考えるとね、すごく切なくなって胸のあたりがキューってなるんだ。
And whenever I think about that important friend, my heart hurts. Like, you know?
たまにね、声も聞こえるんだよ。
And sometimes I hear a voice.
声。
A voice?
幸せになりなさいって。
The voice tells me to find happiness. Huh?
All of that was undone. I erased those memories, sacrificed them.
その人がそう言ってくれたからね。マユシーは今こうしてオカリンと一緒にいられるのかもしれないね。
I wonder if that voice is the reason Mayuri's with Okabe now.
Perhaps everybody remembers their experiences from other world lines. Those memories may be vague and tenuous, but they're there. They speak to us in the form of dreams, visions, and deja vu.
もし会えたらありがとうって言いたいな。
If I ever meet that person, I want to tell them thanks.
I'm not the only one who remembers.
その人誰だったのかな。
I wonder who it was.
きっと神様だ。
It must have been God.
そっか、神様ありがとう。
Oh, well, thanks, God.
マユシーはとっても幸せです。
Mayuri's really happy.
Mayuri looks up. She reaches out to the sky like always. She shakes hands with the stardust, twinkling beyond the coat of blue. I look up too, to hold back the tears. And on we walk, hand in hand. And there we are, Stardust Sky is showing up as completed. So let's now save the data, and as I thought, it's kicked me straight back to the title screen. Now, it's got a thing here saying clear list. Ah, you can see that. What it's got is quite a few different... So there's another 4 endings that are missing. And I was right. The Irreversible Reboot one was a ending that I unlocked offline. So there's another 4 endings out there we can go hunting for. And that might well be a stream that I'll look to revisit on the Thursday. But I've got to figure out how to do it. I don't know if I'm going to need to do some grinding offline in order to get the areas prepared for them. So that's something I'll look at then. But for now, we've seen one outcome involving a personal sacrifice. But the gate remains open. So we'll find out more what happens. Hopefully I'm going to be back on Thursday night and we'll do some exploring to look at some alternate endings. Until then, thank you all very, very much for watching. And good night.